Welcome, everybody, to the Journeymen Lounge Podcast.
You better be praying to God because, you're 14 and losses in a row. You're going to need Jesus.
Am I wrong?
I thought you were pretty wrong, yeah.
Okay. Welcome to the Journeymen Lounge Podcast. As you can see, we are brought to you by Hanes Sweatpants.
By gray sweaters.
I was going to say, everybody's wearing sweatpants.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah.
But
Comfort,
yeah,
baby. Comfort's king.
It's the Journeymen Lounge Pod. We have, to my right, Dave.
Introduce
Hello.
yourself.
My name's Dave Marslack.
What's
there you
up? Dave is friend of the pod, known through Ryan. We went to high school together as well, so had that little connection. Who else we got here? Introduce
We got
yourself.
me, Ryan, and me and Dave, like I said, we're friends and co-workers. We work at my job together.
Fantastic.
We work in my job.
And
That's
the loud
exactly
mouth
what
on
we
the
do.
end is Bobby, of course.
I think everybody remembers Bobby.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm Woj.
Cast a
For
big
those.
shadow. I get it.
God damn it, Bobby.
God damn it. All right, so we're just getting right into it here. So what we like to do with first-time guest Dave is you have to give us all of your money in your wallet. Just kidding. Okay.
I was fine with step A. All right.
Hit us with the affiliations. So what's your favorite team? Each of the major four sports. Go.
I like the Bears for the NFL. I like the White Sox for MLB, the Bulls for NBA, and the Blackhawks for NHL. So pretty much Chicago.
Chicago.
Pretty much a
across.
Chicago dude. Nice.
Yeah.
Dave, are the Sox still your number one, would you say? Or who's your number one? I feel like you're a big Sox fan.
I mean, it's really tough between the Bears and White Sox.
Okay.
It's either 1 or 1A. It's just,
Okay.
I don't know, between football and baseball, those are probably my
I mean, I
favorite
know-
sports.
Hug that mic a little bit though.
I know the Sox have been horrible recently. So
Yeah.
it's kind of getting harder to watch them. But I know you go to a couple games a year at least, right?
I try to. I mean, I didn't really go much this year because the disaster
I'm just saying, you
season.
can grab $20, grab some nosebleed, and just walk
Yeah,
down the 100.
they don't check for tickets.
At least you can see another
know.
good baseball team doesn't have to be the Sox, whoever they're playing.
Yeah,
you know.
depends.
I will.
We
I
can
will
go check
say-
out the Brewers. You're right. That's not too far of a drive. Are you
No,
talking
No,
about-
I just meant the away team. Like if it's like the Yankees.
Oh, yeah,
or-
that's
or
true. You
like
see
the
a better-
Red Sox.
I thought you were
or-
trying to toad on the Cubs.
No, just simply. Yeah, there's other teams.
I've been to
coming
both
in.
Cubs. I've probably been to more Cubs than Sox teams, honestly. And I'm a
Oh,
Sox
I
fan.
agree. I'm a Sox fan. I actually enjoy Wrigleyville better.
I like them both. Sox is becoming just more possible with the simple fact that you can actually go to games and not blow fucking 200 bones on
Right.
various shit.
Uh,
So it's a little bit more salvageable of a day in terms of, again, spending money.
I think it's good that we have both options and experiences. Like you go to Wrigley, you get the old stadium, like no one else has, maybe besides like Fenway, and you get that experience in Wrigleyville, and that's a cool thing.
Rickett family definitely built it up.
And
right
then,
around
and then
there.
they did make
Gallagher
it nicer.
Way.
Yeah.
And then you get, if you want to like go tailgating or something, go to the Sox game, and it's
Totally.
cheaper. And
You're right. It's different, a different feel for each.
it's kind of nice we have both.
I am a
think.
tailgate, definitely.
Right.
Tailgating is so much more if you can get the right group of people there.
Such a fun time.
Bar down, fucking
Wrigley.
bar none.
Wrigley is fun. It's just a bitch to get to and to get out of. Like there's no parking, so you have to take the train usually, and then you have to like.
I normally
You know,
I normally try and plan something to do after so that you don't get out with the millions of people,
Right.
but thousands of people that are trying to get out. Go to a bar down the street. An hour later, you're like, all right, now I can.
I'll
get,
say
you
this
know,
for anyone who is a Cubs fan. I'm sure you guys seen this. Now, Will's Northwoods Tavern or Bar
Shout
is
out.
about I'd say less 3/4 of a mile, maybe just a little bit, between there. But I usually park over there if you're able to get a spot because it's away from that bubble, but also it's cheaper drinks. You can get yourself really loaded, and then you got a nice half mile to 3/4 of a mile walk to get there. So it kind of gives you a little bit more new life before and after the game. So and it's in a safe neighborhood. It's not like you're gonna get jumped on there.
I was like
Bobby
checking out.
approved.
I was like checking out the stores around Wrigleyville too. Maybe get like a jersey or something if they got like someone that they don't
they have
have
some cool shit. Yeah,
anywhere else. Although they could be pricey down there, but
I'm sure.
it is what it is.
Yeah, I think someone said it. Kind of, you get both best of both worlds there in terms of a team. Unfortunately, both are kind of in the shit. So Bobby, just a real quick thing. We talked about it before, though.
Yeah.
Ryan and I were wondering on our episode of the pod, did you win that bet
No,
between you and
so
your buddy?
there
Explain
was-
the bet first.
All right, so AJ bet me, and this was after the results of last year. He said, I will bet you, and I needed a spread. He's like, the Cubs will do better than the White Sox in the upcoming year. And I was like, oh, they absolutely will. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to give you a spread. You could say yes or no to this, and we threw $50 on it. I'm like, give me 25 games. He's like, I'll give you 25 games. I lost that bet.
I mean, Cubs only won
What
like
was the final
70.
standings for both teams? Do we have anybody know off the top of their heads?
Google.
Sox won like 41. The Cubs won like 83.
Yeah.
Wow, like 40.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we actually, I think, have the record for the modern, worst team.
Yeah.
And,
So we did get the record.
We
Yeah,
did get
yeah.
the record. That's a horrible record to have.
Yeah, terrible.
So, and kind of moving off of baseball because
Yep.
again, it's just
It's embarrassing.
They're not great right now.
It's a dumpster
Dave,
fire.
it is good though that you just having the White Sox affiliation. I mean, I think we're definitely talking about. I mean, tailgating, trying to do something.
Absolutely.
Tickets are pretty cheap.
Yeah.
We fucking
We're
just
doing
maybe,
Blackhawks soon, or
we're
a bull.
talk about
Blackhawks or
Blackhawks.
Bulls. one
I
of
mean,
those.
let's just kind of
Yeah.
breeze past the
Yeah.
Blackhawks.
Yeah,
I think I saw that they were 6-9 the other day, which I was like, nice.
showing a little progress.
But it is what it is. They're at least, to me, they're at least keeping in games now or winning against bad teams. Other than that, haven't really watched them. Any other thoughts on the Blackhawks? What, you watch it? You don't?
I watch it here and there. I don't really watch like the NHL like in general. I'm not terribly knowledgeable about it.
Okay.
My hope for them this year was kind of like be competitive and like maybe kind of be in the hunt towards the end of the season. Like obviously not make the playoffs, but like be watchable because Bedard had that concussion last year, I think, right?
I agree with you. Be watchable. So many times in the first period, I turned off the game because I was like, the Hawks are down 4-1 in the first. I'm like, this is awful. Sorry, go ahead. I cut you off.
No, it's okay. Like, he had that concussion last year, and I tuned into a few games like you said, 4-0, 5-0. It's
Hug that mic.
It's not watchable whatsoever.
I would just say before I throw it over to Ryan, I want to just see improvement out of Bedard, which I think I've already seen enough. Like he's getting a goal here, an assist here, all that shit. It seems to be that he's good. He's doing what a first overall pick would do. But, I mean, again, to me, I'm like, all right, let's check in 15, 20 games. Are the Blackhawks going to be 10-30 at that point, or what the fuck? So, Ryan or Bobby, what you got?
Okay, well, I'll just start with my fandom for the Blackhawks. They were always usually like my fourth on my favorites. I'm a Bulls first, then Bears really close, and then probably the Sox and the Hawks. But they could flip-flop depending on the year. But anyway, I think because they weren't on a lot growing up till the other guy took over, that's probably part of it. But I always liked playing, NHL and shit like that. And then when they got better with Kane and Taves and that shit, I was into that. As far as recently Blackhawks goes, I don't really watch them out of cable. So, like I said, if it's like last year, I would hope that you see Bedard get better, grow better. A couple other young players we have, but maybe overall you want to lose so you can get better draft. I don't know if hockey that matters as much or not. I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
there's
don't
no
think it
there's no
does.
lottery.
Okay, well then you want
I
to
don't
see the
believe.
young guys do well.
You want to develop your team.
That's what
Develop. Yeah, develop.
you want to see them get better as teammates together. Maybe just play well and as a unit, and then hopefully you can add more pieces as either this year comes or if you get better next year. That's what I would guess. I would say.
What you got, Bob?
My quick is we need to display more command. What I mean by that is, between the lines, crisp passing, and going out there with a little bit of an attitude. Like I think that we have, like you said in the first period, we always find ourselves down. We always find ourselves, on defense. We need to have more of a Kenny Powers fucking attitude and go out there and assume that you're going to own the other team. Like, I'm not sure if they have developed that level of, even if it's false confidence, but go out there and assume the win. I'd rather you guys go out there with that type of attitude rather than, okay, this guy's dangerous. We got to consider. No, go out there and fucking win.
Yeah.
They need to have more of that attitude.
Thanks, John Madden. You got to go out there and win.
I
Okay?
feel
That's what you
10
do.
feet
I'm just saying-
tall right now.
Yeah.
And it's songs
Who the
about-
fuck are you? Who the fuck are you?
Oh.
Sorry, I said Kenny Powers.
That was great.
That
That
meme
was-
constantly comes up for fantasy football or the
I feel 10
Bears.
feet.
I love that show.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I would just also throw out there that the Hawks need to address the goaltending because they got this guy
Yes, my
Mrazek
God.
who hasn't done.
He was all right last year, though, right?
I think he was.
We
fine.
need better
I think
than
he was
all
fine.
right, man.
But I want to definitely touch on Bobby's point of enforcing and being a stout team. The Hawks haven't been a fucking team that you don't want to fuck with since
the 80s?
I would say 90s. 90s, early 2000s, like where they didn't have a whole lot of talent, but they could fucking like it was 90s hockey. So like you don't want to fuck with. I'm just saying in general, I agree with you. They're coming off very soft a lot, and I know that hitting isn't a huge part of hockey anymore. It's not like these other years where they used to just fucking take each other's heads off and like whoever was still on the ice, you're probably gonna win. But yeah, let's develop the younger guys and see what happens. We'll check back in 20 games or so. But overall,
let's see. Yeah,
who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
Right now. Who the fuck cares right now? Because I don't see them as a contending team. Boom, boom. Let's go on to the Bulls. All right. I'm just going to start off just by saying I think Billy needs to go. It's almost the same.
What's the record, just for the record?
5-7.
5-7.
Thank you.
Good stuff. I just say that Billy has to go. It's in a very similar situation to Eberflus in that I think Billy Donovan is not going to be the guy in 2 years, so you might as well get rid of him now, bring somebody else in, try and do it. I mean, to me, the Bulls have another lack of power in the lane. Vucevic is fucking soft bread or white bread rather, and the other guy, Jalen Smith, is getting punked like a bitch too. We have no lane presence, and people are dunking all over. Like in the first 2 games, Vucevic got dunked on like 3 times. But that's my 2 cents. Dave, throwing it over to you.
I mean, they're 5-7. It feels like, again, like kind of mired in mediocrity. Like I look at the standings today, they're the 6th seed. If everything as of right now. So, but I mean, I don't know. I mean,
seems like Dave is at a loss for
loss
words.
for words here.
If I may, I think I can fill in for Dave on the words. Here.
Great dropping, Marty.
Yeah, that's why he's not the best color man in the business for nothing. It's the same thing. Like you said, they're mired in mediocrity. They're going to finish the end of the year as the 8 or 9 seed. They'll be in the play-in game or the 9 or 10, whatever. They'll be in the play-in game. Maybe they'll win, maybe they won't. But then the ownership will be like, oh, we did good. We don't have to do much this year. We'll just run it back and we'll add a couple things. No. You got to blow this motherfucker up like the Sixers did. Like they sucked for like 5 years.
Trust the process.
Then they had Embiid, and then they got whoever. Like
he's soft. I don't care.
What?
Embiid's
the best players in the league. I mean,
Embiid's no, man. This is sorry. I got to make this point though about it. This is pissing me off. It's like you can absolutely be the most dominant player on the court, but get the fuck out of here of people comparing Embiid to like one of the best players of all time.
I didn't say that.
No. I'm not saying you, but I get a lot of other people, sports analysts are going like, he's such a dominant force. He's one of the greatest players. I'm like, bull fucking shit. Haven't been on the court. He's almost missed as many games as he's played.
Right.
And 2, when you are on the court, guess what? Your team doesn't fucking win the big games. They may do great in the regular season, but he was always hurt during the fucking playoffs. And I'm just like, dude, you can't, like, he's not even in the conversation to me. And just, sorry, it's a little thing that pisses me off.
No, it's okay. I was just using him as an example because they're the Sixers, and that's what they did. They tanked for years, and people like were kind of like, I don't know. But, like, now they're every year for the last, let's say, 6-7 years, I don't know, whatever, they've been a top 3 to 5 Eastern Conference team. They're competing. Like they have the 1 year they almost went to the finals with Kawhi Leonard and hit that ridiculous corner 3. It would be nice if the Bulls, like I said, the guy Cooper Flagg's coming this draft, would just be like a once in a generation type talent. It'd be nice to have him and build a team around him. Like when you have players, you have a chance. Like right now, we just like have guys that are okay and like that we can't trade away or do anything with. That have like Levine or Vooch that are a lot of money, and we have too many in the same position. Although I love Giddey. I was happy about that move from the get go. I think that's a good move. But we still need a power forward. I've said I hate Patrick Williams. But we've gone over this.
Right.
They need to trade Zach though. That's.
I mean, they signed him to too big of a deal, and his output is not producing enough for other teams to get interested.
No,
in
he's
him.
he's like a number 3, maybe a number 2 at best if you want to win a championship. I mean, him
on another team would be very good, but other teams aren't going to pay because, like, again, he made such a big deal with the Bulls because the Bulls with DeRozan. Now you kind of have an idea of like, oh, maybe we could go somewhere. Failed to put the other pieces together,
and they trade him for nothing.
And now again, as you said, you're in a no trade situation with multiple players. I agree with you though. At this point, it's like, dude, another year of mediocrity. Let's just go with hey, we're gonna play out the rest of the year, and then just fire sale everybody.
Yeah.
Like head coach, I think
Fire sale.
Well, I think the GM, the Artis Kazofis, AK, right?
Yeah.
I think he's actually doing pretty good of trades and stuff like that he was able to do because the Levine and I believe the Vooch was before his time. Is that right?
So, yeah.
I think so, yeah.
So he kind of inherited those. I don't look at those two guys as his, but like you said, make the move for Giddey. I'm saying leave him, let him fucking do his thing. But the Levine era is over to me, man. Get this fucking guy out of here. Yeah. And also on top of it, I don't know how you can play in today's NBA. He doesn't play defense at all. There is no defense.
Oh.
I know there's no defense overall.
Yeah, a lot of the NBA doesn't play defense, but
dude, how many times I watched the last, I don't know, 12 bowl games or whatever, all of them. But the last game especially, I'm like, oh yeah, Zach LaVine, that was your guy. Just scored that bucket. Like, oh, that was you.
Well, yeah, he's a plus minus nightmare. He might put up 30, but he might let up 35. Yeah. You know, like
I'm just
that's
saying.
a good analysis. A plus not minus.
That's
nightmare.
pretty much that's pretty much everybody on the Bulls right now. Is that their defense? Like there is no They gave away Javonte Green to the Pelicans for $2 million. That guy's an amazing bench fucking player. Gives you fucking life off the bench. But yeah, the Bulls are pissing me off right now.
You know what? I have to give.
That's clearly obvious on our end over here.
Go ahead.
I got to give one guy credit. My guy Iota Sumo.
He's playing
I think he's a good sixth man guy.
No,
plays
he's
good defense. He's Trae Young's daddy, obviously. Plays really good against him for some reason, but like I don't know.
I just his shooting is still a problem though. There's a couple just again from what I've seen is that. There was a night where he went 0 for 8 from 3-point. He just kept chucking them up there.
Let me comment to this. I think that there's a lot, I wouldn't say a lot, there are some valuable skill players that are on the Bulls. I'll give them that. They have some valuable skill players, but you don't have a complete team. You guys you live and die. If your efficiency is bad, you're going to lose that game, period. Because I don't see them attacking the boards. I don't see them making efforts or, really trying to get themselves into the paint. They live and die by their 3-point percentage. I'll just put that out there.
Which isn't one of their skill sets, really.
I think that's how the NBA is playing, and that's what Billy Donovan is trying to say. Like, well, because the NBA is going this way, this is what you need to do. And it's somewhat true, but you don't necessarily need to do that in that fashion of just
who's the 3-point shooter for the Bulls? Maybe Kobe White.
White.
Sometimes Zach LaVine if he's on fire, but sometimes he misses. I don't know.
I think the nice thing is that pretty much everybody can make a 3, but it's really, again, you don't want to just live at the 3.
I guess what scares me, and you've mentioned this, you have a chance to maybe take a dribble or two, get yourself into a 12 or 15-foot shot and pull up and just take one. You never see that. They'll crash the board and then immediately try to dish out to that 3. You never see them finish a fucking drive. I don't know.
It's frustrating for the Bulls right now, and just in terms of like when
there's
playing,
some skill there though.
When they're playing, talent. That's what it is. Is that there's a glimmer of hope there. But to me, I think that all the negatives kind of outweigh the positives right
there
now.
There it is.
That
well said.
You have to kind of start over, because again, it's something that this team right now, without any other additions, you're not making it into the playoffs.
No.
Like I'm going to say, you were saying maybe fighting for the playoff. I'm saying right now, no chance.
I'm saying I don't think they should, but I know they're going to somehow squeak in. They always do every year.
Yeah, but squeak and die? Is that our new thing?
No, I'm saying I don't like it.
That's what it's been.
I'm saying I hate it, but I'm saying they're going to. They always do, because the Eastern Conference is like okay, but I don't know.
Not looking too strong this year.
Especially when they extend the NBA playoffs to 10 teams. Like, how can you not make it almost? You know what I mean? Like,
I just look.
I
at
don't
it
like that.
I don't either.
I'm just looking at they're holding on right now.
Participation trophy I've ever heard.
They're holding on right now, but like again, in 20 games from now, I could see. They just keep losing. Like, they didn't win that game against New York last night. New
York lost.
New York
we were up
lost
by 20, right?
We were up by 20, and the last shot from who's the little guy?
Kobe White.
No.
Oh, Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson, like
rimmed out,
touched over. I was like, Jesus Christ, that was like the worst win of all time. Yeah, up 20. Okay, so sorry, we just ranted on the Bulls for a solid.
We had to though.
Any final thoughts before we move on?
They stink.
Okay.
Mediocre.
I think pace of play. If they could control a better pace of play, they'll do better. I don't know.
Right.
That's just an idea.
All right, let's switch over to the main fucking shebang.
Real quick. I want to pause. Big events happening this Friday. You guys are aware of this, yes?
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
There's a boxing match.
Jake Paul and Mike Tyson.
Now, granted, Paul's been training, but you're going against Mike, and he's what, 60 something?
50.
Yeah.
50.
I still think Tyson. You could see. I think that anger in him. I think that he's going to teach a lesson early, and I hope this only goes like 3 rounds.
I hope.
Well,
I hope
it's,
Mike Tyson
it's
wins.
2-minute rounds. I think they're doing 4
It's an
or
exhibition
5.
style, yeah.
It's an exhibition, but to me, I'm like, this type of shit, and somebody else said, I think it was maybe Michael Rappaport or something like that. He was like, this isn't boxing.
No.
Boxing
This
is
is a cash
a
grab.
completely different thing. It is definitely a cash grab, but to me, this is just like another. I don't really know why Mike Tyson's doing it. That I don't get.
Why
Money.
not?
This is literally like the movie Rocky Balboa.
Thank you,
Where
yes.
he comes back.
Yeah.
But the guy he's up against is not a YouTube
No,
sensation.
he's not. He's not Mason the Dixon line or whatever the guy's
He
name
was
was in the movie.
I think he was a real boxer too.
He was
Yeah.
Antonio Tolliver
Yeah.
or something like that. Yeah.
All I'm saying is that the social aspect of this, I'm not, like it's on Netflix, so like it becomes easier to watch.
Which I'm excited to. Well, that's why I'm saying I'm excited to
So
watch it.
I might
Yeah.
watch it or flip it on or whatever, but in reality, I'm just like, who gives a shit? If Jake Paul wins, great. You beat a fucking 58-year-old
That's the
boxer.
thing, it's a double-edged
if he
sword.
wins, then I'm like, cool. Jake Paul got.
I
a
can't
fucking
imagine
knockout.
Tyson
So-
letting this
Cool.
happen.
It's all money and publicity.
I don't care. I
Exactly.
think Tyson, dude, he's a pure. Dude, the guy's a killer. He's not going in there just for a paycheck. He's going there to, I think, take a soul.
I mean, I have more interest in the other fight like years ago, even though it's kind of similar, like it's like a money grabber, like the McGregor, Floyd
yeah.
Mayweather.
Uh-huh.
But at least he was like kind of still young and in his prime, even though he wasn't a boxer per se.
Dude,
Right.
Tyson hasn't boxed for like
Right.
30
That's
years.
what I'm saying. Like I don't know. And that was
He did that one exhibition with Roy.
I'm saying he hasn't professionally
You're right. No,
boxed
fair
in
enough.
30
But I'm
years.
I'm excited to see what he's capable of in a matter of whatever this is. I'm hoping that inner dog in him comes out and just comes to life.
Think about it too. His career was like dwindling when he bit Holyfield. That was like what 96, 97?
Around that, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like 30 whatever years ago or some shit. About to be 20 something years, whatever.
Yeah, I know. I think we were all of like 10 years old
Like
when that happened.
and his career was already kind of dwindling down. This is Mike Tyson in the 80s. Holy shit. Or early
Yeah.
90s.
That was
Yeah.
a bad.
He's a bad dude, man.
I mean, he still is a bad dude for his age, but he's 58. I don't know.
He still moves pretty quick, though. You'd be surprised. Like I said, not in his former glory, him at like 18, but I
Yeah.
still think he has that devastating. All I need is either I'm going to catch you in the kidney or I'm going to get you with an uppercut.
It's true.
So we'll see. Sorry, that was it.
That's
I'm
fine.
done.
All right, let's go to football
Yeah.
here. So we're just gonna start off fantasy recap. So Dave will just kind of have you go over,
Tell us about
one of your leagues here. We've all
Playoff
kind of
mound or you
pinpointed. So last week I wouldn't say spanked. I think I won by like 10 or something like that. Who the fuck did I play?
I came prepared to this segment, but
I played Bronson. I did smack him actually, but I beat him by 30.
Yeah, of course. He sucks. He sucks when he plays you. When he plays me, but it's about 130.
Sucks to be you, dude.
Let me just say in this league, Woj is like 100 points less than me. I think 100 points less scored, 100 points less for, and he's somehow like
of course
2 games ahead.
He gets that perfect schedule that
I won-
always catches them when they're
I
low.
won 90 to 77.
Y'all bitches.
Yeah, your team's fake.
You guys-
fake
You
fraud.
guys, you
Pelican
guys,
Bay. I'm going to send all you.
No. You know what it is? Is that you guys are there's
23
too
hour
many people
lockdown.
glued to the points for, points against. It's called fantasy. We don't know
It's
what's
called
gonna
bullshit.
happen. We don't know.
I'm a
what's
little
gonna
bit
happen.
on him though. Like if you
I
kind
have
of
no control over.
I know you don't, but I'm just saying it's fucking. For someone like me, it's annoying.
he's not going to win.
Philly D
Don't worry
got
about it.
22. I mean, I don't know that that's gonna happen every.
Everybody I
Time I
play
play Bronson.
has like a record week. I have no bullshit. It's like unbelievable. In every league I play.
Okay, hold on. If that's the truth, tell me who you're up against. I'm going to make some bets. Seriously, if you're
Easy
getting blown
chatter.
out, then I could guarantee those guys are going to do well.
Fair enough. I'll let you know.
All right,
All right.
thank you.
I'm kind of interested in that. That would be really funny if you bet on everybody against.
I
to get
will,
a
dude.
touchdown.
Seriously, send me a screenshot on Sunday and tell me who you're up
Like
against.
a lot of matches I'll have would be like I had to put up like 170 and the guy put up like 130 and I won, but I had to put up like a ridiculous amount to get the win. You know what I mean? It's like crazy.
All right, we're going to make some money off this.
All right,
this
so
fortune.
I'm sitting at 6-4. This week I play Kyle. So we'll see. I think I might be watching the games with him on Sunday. Fucking do a little shit talking there. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm 6-4. Probably need another win to get me into the playoffs. But in this league, I'm somewhat confident just because I have been winning games a lot of just like, I
I'll
won
give
this
a
one.
brief example in that league. Your brother, whose team is dog shit. I played him. He got a win against me. He put up like 120 or something. This last week he put up like 60 points.
Yeah.
It's
Jeremy's
insane.
team shout out, not that great.
Insane.
You are just catching the bad. Dude, seriously, tell me what you guys you're up against. They're going to have a fucking day.
All right, Dave.
I can't wait.
So hit me with what's your team? Let's start with your team name. What you got on that one?
To Infinity and Bijan, named
Nice.
after my first round pick,
Oh,
Bijan Robinson.
He's been
I
having
like
a
it.
great
Haven't
year.
heard that one too often. Good
Pretty
stuff.
good.
Just give me a couple highlights. Obviously, besides Bijan, who else you
Okay, so I'm 9-1.
Woo!
Mo-
Dave seems rolling this year.
Most points for, least points against. So it's been kind of a walk in the park.
How many teams?
10.
Okay. That's light. But
got? A
all
week,
right.
but that's fine. Continue. So just give us a couple. Who's been leading the team?
I have Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, and let me tell you guys, that's just a machine duo.
Yeah, dude,
like
that's
it's
just-
Oh, I know.
it's
I have him in
magical.
one league as
Every single week, and putting up a shit ton of
putting up
points.
points, dude.
It's unreal. Brandon Aubrey, I mean, he's been pretty decent for
Solid
kicker
all
wise.
year.
Tony Pollard, he's been serviceable.
Tony Pollard's been
Tony
great.
Pollard's
on
been
the
running the
He's
show
been
for
good
Tennessee.
on a
That's-
shit Tennessee.
That was a
team.
great pick.
He's my flex. I have Bijan Robinson, obviously.
Yeah.
He's having a pretty good year. My starting wide receivers were Olave and
kind of weaker on your wide
yeah, a
receiver
little
core.
bit, and Stephon Diggs. Both those guys are hurt. Obviously Olave, Derek Carr keeps throwing him hospital passes, so he hurts his head.
Yeah,
Dude,
we've had a segment. Yeah.
His career ain't gonna last long. if he keeps getting those
Unfortunately,
concussions.
So I have Josh Downs in there right now, and
good.
I have Calvin Ridley, who has been doing good the last couple of weeks.
He's
Okay,
like
nice,
real
nice.
hot and cold, but yeah, he can be good.
So my team's doing pretty well. I mean, obviously the wide
9-1. Yeah, you clearly know.
obviously
what you're
my
doing.
wide receivers are kind of not necessarily the best, but it's going pretty good so far. I
You're
hope
you're relying on the other
Hell
guys to get
yes.
you there, but
Yeah.
I think again, if you're 9-1 right now, and those two guys, you're week 14 right now because that's when the Baltimore bye is.
Yeah.
That's I got Derrick Henry and I'm fucking scared as shit. I'm like
That's
if
the last week of the regular season for fantasy,
Yeah.
I think.
But
It is.
I'm just saying it's a week where I'm like, if I'm not in the playoffs, I'm like, I gotta have Derrick Henry, and you don't have him. You're like, fuck.
I know.
I'm just hoping I can maybe get in before then.
I'm
but,
in that ballpark
probably
with
not.
Lamar for week 14 as well.
So Dave, pretty much, you don't even have to win
You're
another
good.
game.
Yeah, I'm in the
you get-
playoffs.
There
We're
you go.
good.
Nice. All right, Ryan. What
All
you got?
right. So last week was quite a momentous week for my team. A lot of things happening. As you guys know, I traded for Najee Harris, traded Mike Evans, accepted Dan's trade, and I did another trade while we
Oh, pray tell.
the next day. So Scuba was really hurting for running backs last week. He was going to have to start P. Ryan, and hopefully Jonathan Brooks was going to play for him. And so I knew he was
So no one.
So I knew he was desperate.
Yeah.
I have running backs on my team. So I sent him a trade, and he finally accepted it. It was I gave him Bucky Irving, and I got DeAndre Hopkins. So I was pretty
That's a
happy with
good.
that.
I'm happy with
I
that.
I love my team much more today than I did, let's say, a week and a half ago. I think I have more options, more flex and receiver options. If I want to go on matchups, I can actually do that now maybe. So overall, it's like I traded Mike Evans and Bucky Irving for DeAndre Hopkins and Najee Harris, which I think is actually a pretty good trade.
I think it's good right now given those teams.
And given the injury situation with Mike Evans, and normally I said I wouldn't have traded him, but I did. And I got a win last week. I beat Brad, who was the second place team. I needed it badly. So now I'm 5-5. Oh, and I also changed my team name from the annexation of La Puerto Rico because I dropped him.
Oh, okay.
And now I
Understandable.
changed my team name, which I actually love this name as well. I had a few Charbonnets.
Yeah.
What of it?
They're big daddy. I couldn't fit one of it. I wanted to fit it. I couldn't fit it in.
That's okay.
And I got a win, and hopefully I can get a win this week. I'm playing Tom, who is currently on the bottom
Yeah,
right now.
last,
So I would like to put as much distance between me and the bottom as possible. So hopefully I can get a win this week. But
You don't
we'll
want
see.
that shirt.
I'm gonna
Tom-
say you still probably need 2 wins.
Yeah.
2 wins and then maybe some help.
Let me just say, too, Tom picked up Sam Laporta, so if he plays, he's probably going to drop like 30 against me because I dropped him, and now he's playing me. So keep that in mind. If Sam Laporta plays, he'd probably be a good pick for this week.
Who does Detroit play this week?
Detroit, I don't know who they play. He's hurt, though, anyway, so he might
Oh.
not play. Let's see, they play... I don't know. Fuck. I don't have it. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I thought it was Minnesota, right?
no.
Could be. All right, Bobby, let's go. Bring it to you.
Now bring it to me. I'm 6-4 in the one league that I've been reporting on. That last week I was against Lamar and Chase, so my day was done on Thursday. So it was fine because now I didn't really have to pay attention so much for this league on Sunday. But I'm 6-4. I need to get another win to kind of solidify the playoff. And I'm hoping over the next, I think, 3 or 4 weeks, I'll be able to squeeze away 1 or 2. My team is just there's some buy. I'm dealing with some buys right now, so that just fingers crossed I can put up some numbers. But all in all, I'm doing all right. I'm 5-5 in my other league, and then the other one we did get a win, so we are.
Jacksonville plays Detroit.
We're 3.
Oh,
We're
okay.
3-7. We got a glimmer of hope, but dude, we got to win out.
Yeah. I mean, our big money league, everyone is like bunched up. There's like everyone's
There's a lot of
within
bunch.
a game or two. Like
yeah, this 5-5, I need a win. I absolutely need that dub.
Yeah, Kyle's like 8-1 or whatever. He's got 1 loss. Tom's 3-6, but there's a bunch of 4-6s, a bunch of or 3-7,
5-5s.
bunch of 5-5s, a couple 6-4s. Like it is right there.
There's no
Anybody-
big separation.
These are big weeks the next 2 weeks because like if you lose 2, your chances of
Hey, have you guys ever seen this?
getting
Oh, sorry.
them is tough.
There's
Go ahead.
2 people in my family league that already been eliminated as of last week.
Wow.
They were both 1-8 going into week 10, and I was like, "That's rough." Like
That
you're
is
immediately, I was like, "I'm not sure if that's a record," but 2 of the people in my family league are already eliminated.
I'm not
into-
gonna lie. At least it means that you don't really have like. I personally, I like to still set a lineup, but like overall, at least I don't have to check that. If I know I'm out, I'm just
You
like,
got to
all
set the line.
You got to
At
set
least.
the lineup. Agreed. But like I said, you just don't want the Sacco. We have a ugly we have a Sacco.
right.
So do
you
we.
have psycho punishments.
Yep.
We have a big turd in a
So
plaque.
they're more focused on getting themselves prepared for winning that one game in the playoffs, so they don't get it.
Yeah, we got a turd on a plaque, and then you have to put the picture you take with Santa sitting on his lap with the Sacco shirt in it. It's pretty good.
That's
It
good.
is a pretty good one.
Ours is a toilet bowl on some plywood with duct tape.
Nice.
And when
There
you
you
open
go.
up the toilet bowl seat, there's a picture of that person, and you have to sign your team name and the year you were,
Great.
like the Sacco.
Creative. I like it.
Yeah.
Nice.
And you have to hang it prominently in your primary
Oh,
room.
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Like,
A
it must be displayed.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just real quick go
Yep.
through Bobby's bets, Woj's wagers. I will go through.
I got no bets on this. I got to save up for Christmas. So I
All
got,
good. I
easy
just
back on my
got
betting.
Terry McLaurin 4+ receptions, Zach Ertz 20 receiving yards, AJ Brown 65 receiving yards, Saquon 65 rushing yards, Jaden Daniels 200 passing yards. Just real quick, trying not to go and bet the
Seems
whole
likely.
farm when I.
Yeah, we had to ease him back from his.
I've been doing a
typical
couple
8-leg parlays down to.
9-10ers.
I know it's
Oh, wow.
unreal. No,
Dude, keep it
Shocker.
to like 3 or 4.
I'll be your bookie if you want to do those type of parlays because you will lose 99 times
A
out
little,
of it.
little rough, but
Take
all
the
right.
money.
I think the last thing we got is just the
Yeah, let's
picks,
run through the picks,
picks for the week.
and then we get set up
Okay,
for our movie. Yeah.
Tonight's game is Philly and Washington. I was already on Philly's train for so many reasons.
You were about to say something
I
else.
have,
but
I have
yeah.
Jalen Hurts in 3 leagues, so he needs to do well right now.
I would also say
Uh,
Philly.
Go ahead, just write down the line.
Eagles.
Eagles.
Okay, we got
Go Birds.
schedule. Green Bay, Chicago. Oh boy.
Taking the Packers, unfortunately.
Packers.
Packers. Let's go.
I should have taken the Patriots last week. I should have trusted my instincts.
Should have shot A.
I should have shot A-Rods for sure. This one.
Think with your brain, not your heart.
I mean, this is like
No, let him pick.
this is
let
like
him
a
cook.
first time though, in a long time. Like with where the Packers at right now, and the fact that I think Jordan Love is absolutely going to play, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think if he doesn't, it doesn't even matter.
I think if Malik Willis, I could see a 9-6 type of game or a 6-3.
Oh
That's
my
fair,
God.
I guess. Yeah.
I think you guys discount him too much, but okay.
I think in
He's improved.
terms of the correlation or
Oh,
the
agreed.
comparison between him and Love, it's
There's
night
a
and day,
drop off.
right?
Yeah.
If Jordan Love is playing as I think they are, I don't think the Bears have a goddamn shot. I don't, like this Thomas Brown guy's like great. We got the guy who fucking called the Carolina Panther plays last fucking year when they went 2 or 3 and
I
13
think they
or
won
14
2 games, yeah.
Right. It's like great. Now we're getting this guy. So yeah, I'm going Packers. I don't like
So,
it.
yeah.
But I just don't see any way.
Welcome to the dark side, my friend.
I don't see any way the Bears win
The
that
Bears
shit.
score a touchdown.
All right.
Yeah, you guys didn't even hit 10 points last game.
Jacksonville, Detroit. I got Detroit.
Yeah, there it is.
Detroit, yeah.
Yeah.
Easy one.
Minnesota, Tennessee. I got Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Las Vegas.
Tennessee.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Sorry. Mr. Upset. Las Vegas, Miami.
Miami.
Oh,
Vegas.
Miami.
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 Vegas.
Going
Mr.
Vegas.
fucking
I like it.
upset. Los Angeles, New England, Los Angeles.
New England.
I'm sorry,
Chargers?
Rams.
Royal Rams.
Rams, New England.
I'm going New England.
Rams.
I think May's going to have a day. We'll see.
Okay, Cleveland, New Orleans. I got Cleveland.
I'll take New Orleans.
Cleveland.
I'm also going Cleveland.
Oh.
Okay.
Nola's not a bad guess. It's
Indianapolis
a shit
at New York Jets. I have the Jets.
Jets over who? Sorry.
Indianapolis.
Jets.
I'll take the Jets.
I'm
At
going
the
Indy.
Jets.
You guys, Jets.
Richardson's playing.
I'm still going Indy. I don't care.
Baltimore, Pittsburgh. I got Pittsburgh.
I'm going to take Baltimore.
Baltimore.
I got Pittsburgh as well.
Okay. Atlanta, Denver. I'm going Denver.
Going Denver.
Atlanta.
Ooh.
Okay. Seattle, San Francisco. I have San
Who's home?
Francisco. San Francisco.
San Fran.
San Fran.
San Fran.
Kansas City, Buffalo. I mean, I hope that's a good one.
Script. Kansas City.
I'm gonna go Kansas City. I think they are gonna always find a fucking way to win.
I'm going to go Buffalo.
I like
Kansas City. You can't
It's
bet
script,
against them
yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Refs are on their side. Cincinnati, Los Angeles Chargers. Cincinnati.
I go Cincy too.
I'll go Cincy too, yeah.
Cincy.
And Houston, Dallas. We all know the fucking
You're not going to pick your Dallas Cowboys,
Houston.
Mr. Z?
Houston is gonna
Yeah.
roll. It's gonna be a massacre.
Houston's
I
going to
feel
spank
like.
them.
Especially if their defense can fucking play. All right. We did kind of skip over a little bit, but let's just hit this before we peace out here. So, state of the Bears, state of the Packers. Bobby, we'll throw it over to you for the Packers. Just kind of like a minute. What you got? They're looking all right.
We're looking good. I think that we're starting to gain some momentum in terms of play call and different uses of Jacobs now. I think we're starting to, open up, all the boxes that come with him. I'm excited with our wide receiver core. We have a young wide receiver core that isn't constantly messing up. So I'm excited on what we're capable of.
Okay. I mean, to me, the NFC North is just fucking everybody.
We're staying competitive in a very competitive
except
league.
the Bears, and it's going to come down to the Packers, Vikings, and Lions. Who's going to fight it out? I think they technically
Only
could,
one of those two could get a wild card.
but that's how they made it right now.
Yeah.
Is that from
Like
the
if
same
you win the
division.
division, let's say Detroit wins the division, and we're still doing good, and Minnie's still doing good. You got to look at their records, and we got to see how we played like within our division. So,
yeah, I mean, again, the Packers and now the Bears play all of the division teams in the
Division
second half of the
games coming up,
season.
yeah.
This is going to be fucking rough
Brutal.
to watch. For the Bears, I got to just mention a couple of things, get you guys' reactions. One, fired Shane Waldron.
I mean,
Ooh.
turn around happens
About
this
time.
week.
Okay,
Shouldn't have had him in the first place. Shouldn't have had Eberle
Being
in the first
sarcastic.
place.
I mean, if they
I think we're all in
win
agreement.
this week, I mean, okay,
guys,
but
so not this week. We could talk about maybe when they're playing like Jacksonville. They're not going to be the Packers. Packers are going to
I mean,
kick them in the teeth.
I think regardless of the result of the records, you need to see Caleb Williams, what he can do or not do, and you need to hopefully stop fucking him up and make him better.
To me, you have to go. Again, I've said it a bunch of times. Eberflus needs to go as well. And the guy that you get next in for Caleb Williams is you have to fucking nail that guy. To whoever that person is, he has to play with Caleb to a point where he utilizes him correctly. Because if they keep bouncing around, they go to this guy. Then 2 years later, they go, oh, well, we got to fire this guy now. You're going to fuck up Caleb Williams because you're going to give him too
You're
many
going to give him the
different
Fields
systems
equation.
and-
You guys are always on the same path, man.
I'm saying
Literally.
that Caleb Williams, I think talent is way far beyond throwing the ball better than Justin Fields.
Yeah.
But I think the same thing will happen if you put a rookie quarterback in one system the 1 year, another system the second year, another system 2 years later. It's just I don't.
Quite frankly, besides that, that's very, very true. You need to get offensive fucking line.
Yeah. And
Starts up
that's-
front. Every time, I mean,
Thank you.
I don't
In the trenches,
I don't-
that's where it's won
I don't see a lot of Bears games, but every time, everything I see is always Caleb running around,
for his life. yeah.
looking for someone to throw to desperately, and usually not anyone to throw to.
He's got no time.
Okay, the game against New England, I'll say this: they did give him a lot. There's been a few sequences he had 3 or 4 seconds, and then he gets sacked. It's ball's got to be out by 2.5,
Right.
3.
Nobody's open though.
Doesn't matter. Get the ball out. Make it an opportunity.
I think you do need to have Caleb just throwing the ball and kind of trust in the receiver. I mean, there's also a lot of stuff on Caleb's shoulders of like just overthrows. I was at the game again on Sunday. I got some tickets again. It was pretty dope. Shout out, Perry.
You didn't send us a video. I'm upset about that. But
yeah, I didn't. The atmosphere was great, but what was happening on the field was shit. So it kind of pissed everybody off.
Rough.
And I was like, it's whatever. But I just look at it like Eberflus, he's not going to be the guy. Let's get somebody else in. But, to me, I'm thinking like for a rookie quarterback, your main thing to do is to not get them fucking injured. You keep throwing him out there with this fucking line that nobody's blocking or letting guys right through. He's going to get hurt.
Well, you can't bench him, though.
I don't want to bench him. I'm just saying you need to figure out different ways to protect your quarterback.
You can develop more of an Alex Smith approach where it's more high percentage, get some confidence.
Well, hopefully this new guy can scheme some quick slants or drag routes or, I don't know, running back out of the backfield, something where he has a short option where if he can't, he has no time, he can get rid of it. I don't know.
I think you need to call the play to allow him to go, hey, there's a quick option right here, right now. If you have pressure right away, you need to get the ball out. And then again, if he doesn't do that, that's on him. And as you said, Bobby, he's doing a lot of scrambling where I said it at the game. I actually got a nice chuckle out of the crowd, but I was like, I was just like, what in the fuck are you doing? Because it was like 3 plays in a row where he like jumped around. Then he got hit from behind. And I was like, this guy's fucking killing me, but
that's where you got the chuckle on that line.
We've literally had a new offensive coordinator the past since 2011.
It was funny at the
every
time.
2 years.
Every 2 years.
I thought you were gonna do all right. I guess you had to be there type of comedic approach.
Yeah, you absolutely did.
You gotta let him throw though. I mean, he hasn't had any picks since the Jacksonville game. Like, if he's gonna take a risk, then take a risk.
Right.
Let him make mistakes. He's a rookie.
I think it's great that a lot of his missed passes on him have not turned into turnovers. That's a great sign. You're missing, but you're missing in a place where
the right type of miss.
It's not going to detriment your team. What I want to see out of Caleb Williams, though, which he showed in the Carolina game, Carolina wasn't a great team, but there was times where he just was like, DJ's kind of open. We'll throw it up there. And then guess what? DJ made
a chance, man. The guy's incredible.
Another game where you do not throw to your bet. DJ Moore had like 4 targets in the fucking New England game.
And Komet's barely been targeted.
Komet didn't even have another. Like, he maybe had 1 or 2 catches. It's like
embarrassing.
You got to throw to your talent.
Paid him a lot of money, too. So like,
we paid a lot of guys a lot of them. Keenan Allen. Like, okay, you had 55 yards. I don't want to see Keenan Allen being our top receiver. DJ Moore is that guy. We're paying him $28 million a fucking year. Yeah,
Paulie.
I was laying out of fun.
He's fucked up.
I was running out of breath there.
Yeah, I
Listen,
got
Tone, I think we should play Caleb Williams better,
All right, so we're going to kind of wrap up this first segment here. Bobby, go with your wine thing because we have...
so anyways, I got a nice little bet. Everyone's going to kick in $5. I made my own wine. Now, granted, this is more bottom of the... barrel right here, but
we'll just say you're not a fucking wine maker.
We set up some wine plants on the side yard and we made wine. It's our first time pass. It's edible. You could drink it.
We'll put up a picture.
There it is. It's horrible right now, but we're gonna guess.
You said it's a white.
It's
and
a white,
more of a murky brown.
No, it is a white, but like I said, there's some sediment at the bottom that I wasn't able to filter out. Anywho, we're gonna guess what the alcohol concentration is, and the person who's closest to. Money gets pooled to them. They get to make the bet.
Can we get a baseline of what wine usually
So
is?
wines that come out of Italy, which make the Italian mark, if you will, for imports, usually are over 13%. Other wines, fall.
What's the range though?
Other wines fall in 8 to 12, over 13 sometimes.
What's the highest?
No, but like you
I'll
can
give you an
can
idea.
have 100%, dude. But I'm just saying. We're just guessing on what his.
We're guessing what mine is.
No,
done
I know.
professionally.
I need to, in order to be accurately guess, I need to know the range I'm guessing between.
But that's the medium. He said
I was just telling you
13%.
that. Like I said, I'd say anywhere between 10, 12. If it goes into like 13 and above is more of the import Italian wines. There's usually more of a kick. But yeah, anywhere between I think 8 to call it 17. Probably in that range.
Tops out at 17. You think?
I can't imagine it goes much beyond that.
Okay. Ryan, I was just simply saying you could say 69%.
Well, wouldn't that be more like moonshine or something?
Yeah,
it would be. I'm just saying it's like there's really no wrong answer.
You can take a sip and
as long as you don't go like more than 20%.
This isn't Everclear.
Well, I'm not a wine guy, guys. So I need to know the parameters, if you will.
It's all good.
I understand. I
Word.
give you some benchmarks.
All right.
All right.
There's the word
You
of the day,
wanna
by the way.
start?
Parameters.
You wanna
I'm going to
start
go
off?
with 10.2.
Oh, we're doing decimals in there.
Yeah, I
All
want you
right.
to do one decimal. We're going to be closest
12.7.
to. Okay.
Dave.
13.1.
Okay.
I'm gonna go on the low side.
There
I'm
you
gonna go 10. I'm sorry, you said 10. I'm
I-
gonna go 8.9.
I like it. Okay, so there it is. Register, and then I'm going to test this when I get the right equipment, and we'll see what it comes in at.
All right, hey man, I would personally love if you just started making your own wine and like fucking.
It's cool. That's cool.
It's fun,
That'd be-
yeah. We did it, and it's been sitting for a few years. So I know that looks kind of bad, but the bottles at home, they're more of a
Yeah.
white. It's like
Right.
a dry
You
white.
could call
Bobby
it. You
said-
could call it a dirty girl.
Oh, we already have it. It's called the Awful Christoffel. We have a neighbor. My neighbors are the Christoffels, and it's on their property line too. And they're good family friends.
Nice.
So
Nice.
we're gonna put some labels on it. But we have like 5 or 6 more bottles at home. We're gonna crack open.
Shout out, man. All right,
Right.
dope. All right, so we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna come back with the movie review.
Whiplash.
Whiplash. So we'll fucking do that to that.
Go get a beer. We'll be right back.
20 seconds. Peace.
And welcome back to the Journeymen Lounge Podcast. We are now entering our movie segment of the program. Now, me and Dave coordinated on this choice. It was my pick, and I wanted to do one that we both liked. So right away at work, I asked Dave, I said, what do you want to do? He said, how about Whiplash? I said, hell yeah, I love Whiplash. Let's fucking do it. So Whiplash is from 2014. It's directed by Damien Chazelle. Stars Miles Teller, J.K. Simmons, Paul Reiser, Melissa
Paul Reiser.
Melissa Benoist. I don't know how you say her name.
Benoist.
Yeah,
Whatever. Supergirl. And then some other people. Mostly it's just like a Miles Teller, J.K. Simmons, and a couple smatterings of Paul Reiser here and
Yep.
there.
You got smatterings. You don't use that in a fucking.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Thesaurus over here, man.
It's like a fucking camera turns
Oh,
on.
you know, Bobby, when I recorded, something just takes over for me.
you know what? I'm
and,
fine with that. Let the spirit flow, brother. Go ahead.
So that's so basically, I'm gonna give you a synopsis of the movie. The movie is about a jazz musician student, a drummer. Miles Teller plays Andrew Neiman, who's a 19-year-old. He's in one of the best. He is in the best jazz school or music school in the country, Schaefer
Conservatory. Yeah.
Conservatory, whatever you call it. And he's trying to be the head drummer or a core drummer, they call it, in the lead band, or I don't know what the it's kind of like the varsity. I would equate it to, like
Right.
like the top.
I mean, they're in
Like second
competitions.
seats, there's different things. Yeah.
Well, you're a band guy,
Right. So in these bands, there's in these schools, same thing with high school. There is a lower tier where this is basically like you were good enough to get into the school, and this is your level, and then obviously up until this top level where it has the J.K. Simmons is Terrence Fletcher, and
Yes.
he runs the top jazz band in the country.
Yes.
And they again the levels though is like it's all based on auditioning. You basically, I mean, the Terrence Fletcher guy obviously does a little bit different, but like you have to basically audition to not only get in the school, and then you get placed kind of like this is your level of where you're at.
I would equate it to like JV varsity or something like that. This is like the varsity of varsity teams, like of bands.
It's kind of equal. Yeah, I
Like
get
he
it.
was on the JV to start with, and then he gets bumped up to J.K.
yeah.
Simmons to the varsity. Anyway, and J.K. Simmons is basically like the Bobby Knight of.
That's a great.
That's
It's a really
that is
good
a
analogy.
fucking
Really good.
great way to put it.
I had it down as he's the Bobby Knight of drum teachers, or basically like the Full Metal Jacket drill sergeant, kind of mixed, blended together into one.
Okay.
Where he is like intimidating, demanding, expects perfection. He has the best band. He's like a reputation, and he goes over the top. Let's just say many times into trying to motivate his students not to fuck up, basically. So yeah, the movie's about the movie's theme. I would say overall is about greatness. What will you do to be great? What pushes you to be great? How much will you sacrifice to be great? like what your goals, like is specifically drumming, obviously in this movie, but I think that would be a overarching theme. I would say.
I just also add in pressure creates diamonds.
Sure,
is the guy's philosophy.
The question of is it better to make someone under pressure? Do they do better at that, or to give them encouragement? That kind of thing. So I would just start with you guys. I'll go down the line. Start with Bobby. Let's see your experience with the movie. I think it's your first time, right, Bobby?
This is my first time watching the film in its entirety. I was aware of it coming out when it did. 2014?
14, yeah.
I was aware, and I think I watched the trailer, and I do like Miles Teller. I do like
J.K. Simmons.
Yes, I like them both as actors in itself, but I don't have a favorable opinion on this, but that's when I was introduced. I just watched it recently, but I was aware of it back when it was initially released in theaters.
How about you, Dave? I know this is one of your favorites, right, Dave? This is
Yeah,
a go-to
absolutely.
for you. So when did you first see it, Whiplash, Dave?
I saw it. I think it was on the Redbox back in 2014.
Ooh, Redbox. There you go.
Back when that was a thing. I
Fuck
watched with a
Redbox.
buddy.
Hey now, I say yeah.
Whoa, just got some bad blood with that.
I watched it with a buddy of mine, and we both really liked it. A few weeks after that, we watched it again, and I always take away get something new from it. Some movie I try to watch at least once a year.
Why do you think you like it so much, Dave? What keeps bringing you back to it? Would you say?
I just like the intensity of it. It's like
It is an intense movie.
It is
yeah.
an intense movie, and it's kind of just the harshness of kind of reality sometimes.
Yes.
Talking to that mic a little bit.
Just the harshness of if you want to be great, this is something you might have to do, or
Right.
you know what, this might be too much.
Yeah.
Because you're sacrificing a lot.
Sure. How about you, Woj? Now I know you were a band guy in high school and in real life, correct?
His dad was an
You
instructor.
were a tuba or trombone?
Tromboner.
Tromboner. So you kind of probably could relate to some things. I mean, being in a band at least, and
Yeah, a lot of they did a lot of things in this movie very well of how the people warm up. Obviously this is at a different level than high school, but there are still similarities. They did that stuff, I think, well as you could do in any movie. And obviously with a movie like this, they have to go and pick pieces that are obviously well known because, maybe not super well known, but at least well known.
Did you know the pieces beforehand? I didn't know.
No,
them.
I've never played. Well, the Whiplash is, I believe, I don't know if that's a piece that was created for the movie or that's a previous piece. I don't know for sure. The Caravan one, that's something that I've
That's
heard
a real
heard of, but not. I'd never played
Okay.
that shit or whatever. But in general, I watched this probably around the time that it came out. I know my dad and brother probably went to it. I don't remember if I was with them there or I watched it when it came out on DVD or whatever the fuck it is, or we rented it. We did that a lot back in the day.
Blockbuster, homie.
We were a Family Video.
Oh, Family Video.
Nice.
That was right down the street. And then I would say though I watched it a couple of years ago, where I was like, every time that I watch a movie now, the first time, I go oh, this is interesting, but then you always forget this shit, and then you watch it again, and I always have that
You see it in a different lens.
I just have a more appreciation for it and certain things the second time around. Oh, fuck, okay, that's. But then also on the same coin, you also find shit that this time around I was like, oh fuck, I didn't really like that about the first time. But go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So for me, I did not see this in the theater. I want to say I saw it maybe a year or two after it came out from word of mouth. Yo, you got to see this Whiplash movie. Damien Chazelle, J.K. Simmons is unbelievable in it, and I love him from the Spider-Man movies as J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah.
And a couple other things. I was like, oh, I'll check it out, and man, it is fantastic. Like you said, it's intense, and especially I think if you love drumming and music, I think it's definitely something you'd want to see. I always have an appreciation for music in music movies. So I always find this movie good, and there's a lot of funny J.K. Simmons lines, quotes, and we'll go through. But I think shot very well, and I think it's a good. I enjoy it.
I mean, Damien Chazelle did La La Land, which
I want to say too. Also, I brought my Blu-ray steelbook of it. I love this Blu-ray. It's really cool. It's got the blood on the symbol.
take a
Oh,
picture
wow,
of it.
very
We'll
cool.
throw it up.
Yeah.
Very
If
cool.
you want to check it out, Dave? Here you go.
I have a DVD at home too, but nothing cool like this.
Yeah, I got that at Best Buy. It was on sale. I think on Black Friday or something for like $12.
See, that's a cool packaging for something like that.
I love that. Steelbooks are awesome. So I'm just gonna go really quick. I just wanted to say a couple tidbits about this movie. So Damien Chazelle was actually in a studio band, and he drew from some of his own experiences for this movie. Mm-hmm. He was writing this movie while he was trying to get La La Land, his other movie, which came out a few years later, made. Mm-hmm. He took elements from his actual band instructor and / things from the famous drummer Buddy Rich to create the character of Fletcher. So, and he did tell J.K. Simmons, like, whatever you think is normal, push it way past that. I want you to be a monster on the screen. Like, I don't even want to recognize you.
Right.
You're not a person. So that's why, like, if you think like, oh, he's really over the top, it's kind of the idea. Like, he was pushing for that. And I would just say also that Miles Teller does know how to play the drums. He learned when he was 15. So in most of the scenes, he is playing the drums. He had to relearn how to play in the jazz style as opposed to the traditional style. But there are a couple of scenes where someone, I guess, fills in for him. But most of the movie, he actually does do the drumming. So I thought that was pretty cool, too, as well. Mm-hmm. So let's go to, let's discuss our favorite scenes. Let's start with Woj.
Yeah, I mean the initial with JK just coming out of the shadows, I thought that was like little eerie, and you're like, all right, that's kind of weird. Like he just was like, oh,
like the first scene,
first scene, yeah.
Okay.
I do like, again, like as I was talking about before, with the similarities, like warming up for like playing for a rehearsal or whatever, you getting the thing set up. They did a lot of like cuts to like different sections, and you kind of have like that ambient noise kind of going in the background. I always thought I think that was kind of shot cool, like a little. I think like some unfocused, some focus shots.
Yeah, I think they have a lot of cool shots when they're filming the musical performances where they like kind of zoom in on the instrument and they do like a quick zoom to something else or a flash to someone else. I think they did a good job of that. Okay,
bounce it around. What you got, Dave?
I first of all, I loved every scene that, Fletcher and just drops an insult.
Yes.
I don't know.
You can name any of them for that. Yeah.
I mean, listen up, cocksuckers. I mean, like.
All right, cocksucker, let's go.
I really like the drum competition, too, between the three guys.
Yes.
It wasn't the climax of the movie, obviously, but it kind of.
Right, where he has them all, he can't decide between the three of them, and he kicks the rest of the band out and has them play for like, hours. It's
hours
till they get and over, and the drum gets bloody and sweaty, and like they just been through hell. You can just tell, and he's like cursing them out the whole time, and like, oh, it's so good. Yeah.
I also liked.
Look at that, Mike.
I also liked him like practicing just hardcore, like in his room, like you have like his like fingers bleeding.
Oh yeah,
just sticking like his hand in the water just to clean that out.
I love that scene too. He's literally blistering up, puts on one Band-Aid, bleeds through it, puts on two more, bleeds through them, dunks his whole hand in the ice. Oh, that's like how, like you said, it's an intense movie, and that really amplifies how intense it is when you see shit like that. How about you, Bobby?
My favorite scene was actually, I think, towards the 2/3 marker where he comes in bloodied on his shirt. He's like, no way is this asshole taking, my thing. I earned it. And it's like, how is this student, mind you, coming in with the attitude? Like, I'll just say Miles Teller attitude. Like, if you want to be great, you have to be able to listen and be able to be coached. He wasn't able to do either. So that scene, I think, was riveting. I think there was a turning point for me in that scene, seeing how selfish and capable he could be, but I think it painted a bad color on him.
Well, I think I would argue that Fletcher pushed him to that point where he's like demanding.
Showing up on time to a scheduled event is not demanding.
Are you talking about when he got in the car accident and shit?
Guess what? You don't get in a car accident if you show up 2 hours early.
The bus got a flat tire.
Not my problem. Not my fucking problem.
The flat tire of the bus, for sure, not your problem. Like, not his fault at all.
No, leaving the drumsticks at the rental car place.
But I'm just saying, in general, you should have always left, like, okay, there's no doubt in my mind I can get there, especially if you're relying on public transportation. That's one thing. Him in the beginning not fucking setting his alarm, I put that down in my picking nits of like, the very first time. It's like, oh, 6 a.m. You wake up at 6:02. How the fuck are you not setting an alarm when the guy who's the top guy tells you, hey, 6 a.m. sharp, be there?
It's true.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with. I'll just name a few here. Neiman's first day in the expert class when they play Whiplash.
Whiplash, yeah.
And Fletcher's calling out the out-of-tune player. He intimidates the entire band.
That was
Dude, that
pretty-
shit was wild.
That was wild.
The
yeah.
guy leaves, and it winds up being he's not even the guy who was out of tune. The other guy was, but he didn't know he was out of tune. So he's like, "Well, that's worse than being out of tune. So you're out of here." He embarrasses Neiman in front of the entire class. Are you rushing? Are you dragging? That famous go back and forth.
Right.
Then he makes him play it over and over, slaps him in the face, throws a chair at him. He makes him yell, "I'm upset! I'm
Yeah,
upset!"
it's fucking
Makes him cry in front of the entire class.
wildly emasculating.
This is like a little brief thing, but I kind of found it funny when he lost the sheet music, and then the guy's reaction was like, he's like, "Oh, what happened?" He's like, "I don't know, maybe a janitor came or something." He's like, "A janitor? Find the fucking folder. A fucking janitor? You dumb fuck! You dumb fuck!"
Well, I mean, let's just dive into that. As
Did
we're-
you think he lost it on purpose?
that was my question?
I had a
that
question
had.
about that as well.
I feel like it.
That's in my pickiness. Nothing's explained. He puts something down on a chair, gets a soda, and it's gone. No, and there's not like 100 people walking in that fucking hallway. I thought that was such just a total miss by the director and continuity of the movie. I think it was really fucking stupid.
I mean, I
Easy,
think
Poppy.
I
Jesus
think
Christ.
they.
Tell us how you really feel.
Oh, you're gonna hear about it when I give you my rating.
Okay, I think that the lack of really like explaining like exactly what it does. It's like one of those ones that like gives you like a little bit of a mystery
That's the
throughout
whole
of like
idea, yeah.
I go, okay, if he didn't do it on purpose and he just was a dumb fuck, like what a lucky fucking okay, great. I'm first chair now. This is dope. I can do it from memory.
Yeah.
And if he does it, then it's like it actually builds out the character though. So I could see him trying to do something of like him just like throwing it over there and then
Yeah, I don't think he did intentionally. I could see it. I think either one of two things happened. I think either a rival band came by and snagged it real quick, or maybe Fletcher just took it because
Fletcher was out to fuck with him. The
yeah,
whole
right.
time,
Like he's
yeah.
like, I told you to hold on this fucking sheet music. If you give a calculator a retard, he's gonna try and turn on the TV with it. As his quote was.
No, but the one thing is like that's not his responsibility. It's your responsibility, and I agree with that
Right.
assessment. Not my fucking problem.
Yeah,
It's
there
your
was a
shit to hold on
little
to.
too much of that where like first chair of the drummer was like, oh, you need to tune my thing and do this. I was like, that sounds weird. Like, wouldn't you want to be the one to tune it so you know, like, hey, I know this is perfectly in tune. Like,
Yeah.
leave nothing to chance.
I didn't realize you could tune drums.
Yeah, I didn't either actually.
Got to tune everything.
I think too, like we Bobby kind of touched on it, but the whole Neiman running late, the bus getting a flat tire, him renting
Dude,
a car,
getting
him
fucking
forgetting the drumsticks,
T-bone.
and
by
then
that
getting
fucking bus.
and then you the first time I saw it, I did not expect that. Holy shit! What the? And he just flees the scene, shows
Yeah, he's a
back
felon
to the
right
concert
there.
bloody, and like, still tries to play somehow. It's crazy.
Adrenaline.
And
Definitely
then,
so.
Woj, go ahead.
Yeah, I got so JK explains like they're getting to know each other a little bit.
At the bar after
No.
Before.
Yeah, it's right after the rehearsal.
Okay.
That he's like talking to him. Andrew tells him, I was like, yeah, dad is a teacher and mom left
Right,
when he was a
it walked
kid.
out on me.
And I just like that I like it and I didn't like it. I don't know how to explain it, but like he explains, like he talks about Joe Jones throws a symbol at Charlie Parker's head. That's how he became Charlie Parker because of, his fucking crazy shit. And he explains in the hallway, then he fucking does it. In the next rehearsal, he whips the fucking thing over their head. To me, I'm like, if I'm Andrew, I'm like, oh, I get. That's the part that I was like, oh, like if you know that, then you should know that everything else from this point forward, like he's trying to fucking push you to the edge.
He's kind of, I think he's gaslighting him and frankly anybody he can the whole movie.
This guy would get a bullet from me if you throw something at my head. I consider that a mortal threat. I'd put four in you.
He also slaps him in the face at one point.
No,
I'm
this
like,
guy. This
what
guy would be
the
fucking
fuck?
tasting the bottom of my boot.
I don't
Trust
care
me
if
on
you're
that.
like a 19-year-old.
You don't
I feel
hit
like
someone.
you would have the wherewithal to go like, yo, like.
I'm gonna physically abuse the
If you
people
want
in
to be
our
in the Schaefer band, that's what you got to
But-
do.
well,
very
okay.
Diddy-esque, I guess.
Okay,
you know?
but I totally get the berating and the thing of like, hey, you're at the highest level. These things are unacceptable. I was talking with Bobby that like, if you don't know if you're out of tune, or you think that you're in tune but you are. Both of those are a detriment to the band.
Right.
And they literally, like, you should not be at this level if you can't do those things. Those things to get berated on, I feel like at that level makes sense. To go and to slap somebody in the face, like physically assault somebody for that,
and throw
that's
things
where
at
it
them.
takes it over the line of like, this is still a school that you applied to and
It's
got in.
It's like Bobby Knight, man. It's like if you want to play for Indiana basketball.
I mean, hey,
Shit,
Bobby
you
and I
gotta-
created great teams,
Right.
But
I'm not saying he's right. I'm just saying like this shit. He's basing it off of real things.
what also
and
Charlie Parker? I mean, that's
Right.
what happened. Fucking
Buddy Rich would berate his entire band.
Right.
It's just like people are fucking nuts. That shit happens.
I just had two last ones. The tribute to Sean Casey, where like J.K. Fletcher is breaking down to the class, and he's like, "This is my former student," and they played a little piece from him. I thought that was kind of cool.
We find out later that he killed himself because of him, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. And then I always love a jazz club scene in a movie. So like when Fletcher was playing with his little trio,
And they have a little one-on-one.
I was like, this is not so much the talking part and all that stuff, but just the look of the jazz club and the music playing.
Yeah.
Which I believe was called Fletcher's Song. So that was like something
Which I
that
believe was called.
no, for real,
No,
like
I
in
know.
the credits.
It's
like-
funny. Yeah, like Fletcher song.
They created it though for the movie. That little
Yeah.
whatever. All right, go ahead. I'm done with scenes.
I would just mention that the ending is phenomenal. I love the ending. It's like kind of like two twists in one almost, where it's like, so he's out of the band or whatever, and then he invites him to play with this thing, this other whatever, I forgot,
Tribute.
competition thing. Hey, I need a drummer. He's like really like hyping him up, and then right before he's like, I know it was you, and he fucks him over
And
by having
he's-
the
Their own
entire
sheet
band
music,
playing
yeah.
a different song than he told him,
He
and
switches the music, and then
Miles Teller looks like shit in front of everyone, walks off the stage. Paul Reiser's there. You think, oh, he's going to leave. And he's like, no, fuck you, Fletcher. I'm coming back on here, and we're playing Caravan.
so, but you got to explain though what he did. So like,
So yeah, he told them that we're going to do the classics like we do in the band. We're going to do Whiplash and Caravan. I need a drummer. None of these guys are cutting it.
no. So sorry. Explain the part of when he comes back. What is
when he comes back. So
what does Miles Teller do? What does Andrew do?
So he takes off his jacket. He goes off the stage, hugs his dad, takes off the jacket, and then he walks back on the stage, starts playing the drums, and he tells the bass player next to him, he's like, I'll cue you in. And he-
Yeah, so he just literally starts playing, and Fletcher is like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Right.
And not only did you fuck up the first song, but now you're here just playing. Cues in the bassist.
They're playing, I believe Caravan is the song they're playing.
Yeah,
The
they
name of the
pull it
song
back
is
in.
Caravan, and then he gets Fletcher to go, "Hey, you're in time with this,"
Right.
And then Fletcher goes, "Okay, great," and he cues in the rest of the band.
And then on top of that, not only does he kick ass at the song, he busts out a solo at the end, which no one, Fletcher included, didn't expect. And it's an amazing solo, and he incorporates it back with the original music. By the time it's done, it's like a 5-minute or whatever,
Right.
like solo, and like blows the whole audience and Fletcher away. Like Fletcher, you could see in his face and his eyes, like, wow, this kid is like legit now. Like, and maybe the idea of the movie is maybe pushing him to this point, got him there. That's a whole debate, whole debate of the movie. But I just think that's like a great ending where it's got like almost like 2 or 3 endings in one, and they all would have been great, and they all are great together. I always find that fascinating watching the movie. So, any other scenes you guys would like to mention that I missed?
Nah, I think next
No.
section.
All right, well, let's go to quotes because there's going to be probably a ton, mostly Fletcher oriented, but let's go through them.
All right, I'm gonna start.
Go ahead.
So when they go to tune, if anybody caught it, "Milk the Cunt"
Yeah, milk the cunt. I said
to start tuning was a wild. I did not expect.
then go on in the high school band. Would you guys
No,
didn't
that was
yell,
not
milk the cunt before?
not usually the terminology we use there. Brother,
Is that equivalent to like rosin up your bow, essentially?
Yeah.
Like get your equipment ready, right?
Yeah.
I'm not a band person at all, so
it's all good. Fletcher, all of Fletcher's kind of attacks and all that stuff definitely were a lot about like, oh, this guy's a fucking gay dude and all that. So
Yeah,
he's
well,
like,
let's just say a lot of his things are inappropriate, but
Barker, that is not your boyfriend's dick. Do not come early.
yes, I had
Like,
that too.
whoa.
I had that too.
Just rattle them off. What you
Dave,
got?
go
What you
ahead,
got?
man.
All right.
Give me 2, Dave.
If you so as much as sabotage my band, I will fuck you like a pig.
How about you got any more, Dave? You
he's
like-
got a few right here.
Get the fuck out of my sight before I'll demolish you.
Yeah, I can still see you, Mini-Me.
And then the early one with Ments. I can't have you on the band if you're too busy focused on a Happy Meal.
Yeah. What are you looking at? It's not a fucking
yeah,
Mars
dude,
bar.
he fucking flames
Demolished him.
Dude, that fucking fat
Elmer
trombone
Fudd,
player.
dude. Yeah.
Damn, dude.
It's like, do you think you're out of tune? What are you? There's no fucking Mars bar down there. What are you looking at?
Oh,
Look
yeah.
up here. Look at me. Do you think you're out of tune?
And then
Then why the fuck didn't you say so?
And then before one of the competitions, I'm not gonna lose because a bunch of people, dudes that have flatter than their girlfriend's chest, mumbo dumbo dipshits.
I like the not quite my tempo.
Yeah, that's
when he does, not quite my tempo.
Not quite my tempo. That's the and then of course not rushing. Were you rushing or dragging?
Rushing
and the
or
variations of that. Were you fucking rushing? Or you fucking dragging?
Yeah, and I'll talk about the pickiness when we get to that section.
Mine, and I only got one, was I think the worst thing someone could say to anyone is good job.
Well, it says
Yeah.
actually there are two.
That's a good one.
No two words in the English language more harmful
dangerous
than
or
good
something.
job.
Yeah. And I agree with him. Like sometimes, like, and this may be that Koba, the Mamba mentality, which I can understand. Hey, you guys are up 2-0 in this series. How are you feeling? You must be on top of the world. We haven't won it yet.
Job's not finished.
Job's not finished. And I can understand that, and I love guys that have that type of drive to them. I think that this movie is trying to be a Good Will Hunting without the merit, without the proper, I think, structure either. I think this is attempting to be something it's not, and then to put a love interest into it, like randomly, was another fucking miss.
Okay,
Sorry, I don't care.
We're talking about quotes, though.
Yeah, there's a quote.
Save
Sorry,
it for the
I'm
pickiness.
seeping into other categories. Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't know Schaefer let in retards. I mean,
I didn't like all the gratuitous language. That doesn't
he
it
was
just
just
way too.
He
over
was
the top.
both barrels, and I thought it was over the top at times.
And
too,
I like swearing
with some of the insults here. I mean, some of them are great.
Very
though. This one,
homophobic too.
but dude, there was one with a fucking core player. So then the main guy, Andrew's like the backup. Andrew was the backup essentially, and then he took over his job. But when he lost the folder, the guy Fletcher's like, all right, well, you're gonna just sight read, or not sight read, but like you're just gonna play it from memory, and. The guy's like, oh, I have a medical condition. He's like, medical condition? What are you, fucking Sanjay Gupta?
I did enjoy that one. That was good.
Andrew also coming back at his cousins where they're like, he's a
Division III quarterback.
No, he's like an Ulster. He's like
NFL is never going to call
top
him.
quarterback. He's like Division III. And then you think you're so tough. Why don't you come play with us? He's like, 4 words you will never hear from the NFL. Such a great line.
I asked you why you stopped playing, and your version of an answer was to turn into a wind-up monkey. I like that one.
That was a good one.
Well, you're in the first chair. Let's just see if it's because you're cute. Yep, that's why. This one is kind of bad. It's like, and here comes Mr. Gay Pride of the Upper West Side himself. Unfortunately, it's not a Bette Midler costume. We will not be serving cosmopolitans and baked Alaska, so just play faster than you give fucking hand jobs, will you please?
That was a great one. I got save your travel receipts, or don't. I don't give a shit.
I don't give a shit. How about, oh my, dear God, are you one of those single tier people? Do I look like a fucking double rainbow to you?
I got one last one where Andrews he comes from the car crash and he's like, "Fuck off, Johnny Utah. Turn my pages, bitch."
I love that one too.
I love that one too.
Man, we got most of mine. Yeah, I think I got you guys named all of them pretty much that I had already. So I'm good. If anybody else has any, I'm good.
I'm good.
All right, let's go on to now.
The Gupta one.
Well, this one's kind of hard. It's like the
Gupta. That was a good one.
Okay, so there's only basically 4 to 10 prominent people in this movie for the scene stealing, supporting. I just had Paul Reiser. I thought he was pretty good in his limited role.
To me, Paul Reiser is a great guy who he started as like more comedian. He had one show.
Sure. Mad About You,
maybe.
Thank you. There it is. I was trying to connect.
And he was like definitely more comedic in that shit, but like he has played some more dramatic roles, like Stranger Things. He was
Aliens.
pretty
right.
good in that.
Yeah.
Aliens.
I think he's a great actor. I would also just throw out. Okay, J.K. Simmons is the shit. I mean,
He's the best part of this movie.
I mean, great villain, but overall, like he's fucking awesome. Is anybody else on the train though? Like Miles Teller, to me, I'm iffy on whether he's a good leading man.
I'm a Miles Teller guy. I like Miles Teller. I like him I like this movie. I like War Dogs. Thank You for Your Service. You got the one with the fireman. I forgot what it's called. It's really good. I like Miles Teller, so I'm in on
Okay.
him. He's not. I mean, I'm not saying he's the best actor. He's not like, like
He was
he's
in
not Matt
Top Gun,
Damon or
right?
some
Wasn't
shit.
he in that Maverick, Top Gun
He's
Maverick?
in Top Gun Maverick. Yeah, he was in a lot of things.
To me, I'm just like to me, I'm always like, I think he's better suited as the second lead to as a more comedic relief. I think he's great in the comedic stuff. The drama kind of stuff, I feel I'm not sold on it all the time, but that's just me. Last thing I just had was, were you going to get to that guy? Or
I'm going right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a couple. You want to read yours? You want me to?
Yeah,
go?
I got Marcus Henderson, who is the bassist in the JVC band. So he was the guy from Get Out. The gardener,
you're right. Yes,
that took over the grandfather.
standing
Oh,
bass.
was running at him.
Yeah, and then he's also in Tacoma FD, which he's really fucking
Oh.
funny in.
Tacoma FD is fucking hilarious.
I had two. Obviously, the girlfriend is Supergirl on
Yes.
CW.
You
and
like her? I like her as a blonde more.
I do too.
I think she's
Yeah.
more attractive.
And then this is, I think, my winner would be his uncle. He was in Better Call Saul as one of the oil guys that the Kim Wexler works with. Also, he's on Friday Night Lights, the second season of the show, as the coach of So that's my guy, Adam.
Wait, who's the other? Okay, I think his name was Connolly, the pretty
red,
boy,
the redhead guy.
Yeah.
He's an actor. He's in a couple things. I don't really know him from anything, but he's an actor. I read about.
That's who I have. He's in the Bridge of Spies movie.
Oh, okay.
okay.
all
He's in
right.
the movie Colossal.
Okay.
Okay, maybe I remember seeing his face, but I don't remember
And
where.
Battle of the Sexes. He's actually Larry King in that
Okay.
movie.
Does
So
that-
he's been in a few things, yeah.
All right. Does anybody have any recasting they'd like to do? I know you said you didn't like Miles Teller. Well, would you have a replacement for Miles Teller?
No, I think he was fine in this.
I would say to me, the reason too he could actually drum. That helps you with the role. Obviously, you need a guy who can fucking. Drum.
I didn't have any problems. Like, I don't think there were any continuity errors with the drumming or anything like that. I think he looked like he could do it.
Yeah.
I don't really. Again, I don't have a person in mind that I'd be like, oh, this would be much better. I just really look at it like, to me, I'm like, in the other movies, maybe like this is a great example of him doing a dramatic role where I'm like, oh, he's good in this. But I think someone could do it better. I'm blanking on somebody who I think could.
That's
2014 is a rough year for me to.
I like
Trying to think about. What
I
would
like
be.
Miles Teller, but I'm not saying he's like I said, like he's not Leonardo DiCaprio or something, or like Matt Damon or something
No,
like
I
that.
get that.
But I think he's good. He's
I just don't know who would at 2014 who was like
Right.
popular.
Timothy Chalamet or something.
Nah, fucking
I don't
hate
think he was there yet.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it's a tough one. All right, let's move on to our favorite needle drop or song use in our score of a movie. Whoever wants to start, go ahead.
Sorry, score. Because I have very little positive, but I did like the jazz, the slower jazz beat that when he walked into that, where Fletcher was playing.
Yeah, it's
that
Fletcher's
was
song.
a nice, smooth, like that got me going. That put me in the right type of mood in terms of that's what jazz is to me. Not the one where if you crank some meth and you hit, the saxophone or the drums, now you're on a different level. But that's jazz to me, I guess.
The Caravan to me, I in terms of the choice of the piece, I don't really love the speed. Like I get why they used it so that Fletcher could basically go like it needs to be at my tempo, it needs to be faster and all that shit. To me, I just was like, there's parts where he is just fucking drumming as hard as he can, and I'm like, aside from this one song, most other songs don't require you to drum. Fucking
Like you're not trying to do YYZ. You're not Neil Peart,
YYZ, yeah.
Peart.
Well,
That's a great song.
If you notice that poster, the Buddy Rich poster, it said if you can't make it in the band or something, you can join a rock band or something like that. Or if he had it in his room hanging, like basically if you can't make it as a drummer.
I think Neil Peart could do everything on this thing and more, but all right.
it's one
Use
of
it
those.
for
I'm not a
rock
fucking
band.
What you
professional
got, Dave?
musician. I have no
Neither
idea.
drop.
I met Travis Barker.
I had Caravan too. I didn't know it was a Duke Ellington song. I'm not like a jazz expert.
Duke Ellington's fucking sweet. I like
I'm
Duke.
not a jazz expert, but it was a really cool song.
Nice. I had Whiplash or Caravan. I think those are the obvious ones.
Too Hip to Retire was the first song that was playing. as
Yes,
we
I like
kinda
that
walked
one
Duke
too.
is a pianist,
That
though.
was
Duke
great.
Ellington, he was a piano guy.
Yes.
And then the last one was
Not a drummer,
it just
though.
was called Overture. I think again made for the movie, but I liked all the music in this, and I actually do like the fact that you had two guys wide open right there, you fucking idiot. I do like the fact though that they didn't go crazy of like this is a jazz like drumming movie, so we need to put in 15 different jazz songs and
No, it's like 2 or 3 songs.
2 or 3. Keep it simple. I love that. That's all I got. Moving on.
All right. Let's go to our most cinematic shot. Who wants to start?
I think I already said it with the when
you
they were
said
doing the warm ups and
yes.
the kind of focused, unfocused shots.
I think
really,
yours was about the blood in the
really
water
like
when
those.
he's icing.
Yeah, I have the blood in the water. Also had hand in the ice water, blood fills the pitcher. I had the quick back and forth zooms between Neiman and Fletcher when they see each other at the jazz bar. Like, hey, Neiman, he's like, whoosh, it goes back and forth real quick. Also, when they're playing in the last concert, they do that. And I love the last scene, the last competition. You can see like they keep zooming in on the drums when he's playing. You can see like the blood and the sweat on the cymbal, and like just that was really good. Like really good cuts of like working with the music, working with the scene. And
Well, the cymbals are made. I know prominently. There's a brand that's initially started in Istanbul. What's the name? Zeligen?
I know I know what it looks like. I don't know how to say it.
It has that Z.
Yeah, it's like that weird thing.
Zildjian.
But now they're manufactured, I think, in the U.S.
Zidijan.
It was initially, I think, in
Zildjian.
Turkey or Istanbul or something like that. The cymbals were like manufactured, created, and now I think it's in New Jersey. That was one of those like little factoids I looked up. I'm like, nah, and it's been around for centuries.
Holy fuck! Y'all want to know how expensive cymbals are?
Tell us.
$474. What
One
the-
cymbal?
This one's
For like a hi-hat?
Here's 164 over here.
I'm sure they're expensive, yeah.
Dave, did you have any cinematic shots you
I had the
liked?
blood in the water too, and then I had the ending too, with just pretty much the back and forth with Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons.
Yeah.
Pretty much is kind of the real. They're both realizing like what's happening. Like
he's reaching his
he's
potential.
reaching his potential
yeah.
and all that, and
Like-
wow, this guy's really good.
Like, I can't believe that this motherfucker's actually good.
He's still doing this.
Yeah.
Like,
For sure. Bobby, do you have any we didn't mention that you'd like to mention as far as cinematic shots go?
I guess for me, and not so much that it was like brilliant, filmography or anything. It was like when you saw that downplay, he's like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna take a break," and puts in that DVD or the CD of him doing like that. At least made it more real. I think that was my favorite part of the movie, where he's describing a student that, lo and behold, he Ted Kaczynski'd because he pushed him way too hard and he ended up taking his own life. And no offense, a guy like this, that's why I have such a hard time watching a movie like this. The profanity, the absolute like
Degradation.
Exactly. But the thing
I'm
is,
sure you're worse.
I think the word that comes to mind is who's better, the player or the coach? And guess what? The player makes the coach. The coach doesn't always make the player. I'm sorry. I think that more often than not, especially at that level, if you're obviously a professional level, I think that the X factor is more him, not so much the Y. And I use the Tom Brady analogy in that sense.
I think it's hard to say. I think that's the whole debate is like, would he have been this great if he didn't push him so hard? It took him all that shit to get to the very end. To come back on that stage. And after being embarrassed and doing that, I don't know. If
But okay, they're clearly not making any money doing something. That's like me being the best at doing the Charleston.
Well,
jazz was important in the 20s and 30s.
Well, that's
Sorry,
irrelevant.
It's dead.
It doesn't matter. It's your opinion. It's his goal.
His goal to be great at something that.
I'm just saying, like, I agree that if you have another job, you can make more money, but his passion is drumming for this movie, so it is what it is.
Okay.
I think it
Drumming
also
aside,
is the pathway to being a professional musician is very.
It's grueling.
It's very tight though. There's not a whole lot of fucking. Same thing as like the NFL. It's like this amount of players make it, and that's it. Like you have to go through these conservatories and.
But what killed me about this, if it truly was, I guess this is where I have an issue with Miles' character. If this was truly important to you and you wanted to be the best, you had some of the worst characteristics and habits of someone who wants to be the best. If you want to be, hey,
he's 19.
I don't give a shit. If someone told me, hey, you need to be here at 6, I'd be there at 4:30 and already have like a coffee. I'd get myself mentally prepared. There's no way I wouldn't not be there and getting myself ready and doing what I need to do to be perfect.
I agree with you on that. If you're 19, you can set a fucking alarm and get things ready. I agree with you.
Well, I mean, I would on a counterpoint. Outside from the one time of him,
He was late to the other
He
6
wasn't even-
o'clock meeting.
what? Which one?
The one where initially he's like, hey,
He was
meet me
late
down
to
at
the
6
a.m.
And then he was late to the
No, he was early.
rehearsal.
No one was even there.
We're saying just in the simple fact of
Someone gave you an opportunity. You fucked it up.
Fletcher is fucking with him.
Yeah.
Yes, right? But he's still, the fact that he woke up late at 6:02 is still the fact that Bobby's saying, oh, well, you need to set an alarm. Same thing with the bus thing. It's whatever. It's like clearly it wasn't a whole lot of time to get from A to B. You know what I'm saying? Like
He has to rent a car.
the fact that he was like, okay, he basically got the car fucking right away, and then he's going to the next spot. It's like you didn't leave a whole lot of time, and you should know. Like he lives in fucking New York. This fucking shit. Public transportation takes a long time.
Right, it's not bulletproof.
It's just like he's a lack of preparation for something.
I guess that's
if
what
you're
kills
gonna
me about
be,
something. He told his brothers, and even that girl he broke up with, like, I'm not trying to be good. I'm not trying to be great. I'm trying to be one of the greatest. Dude, you have the worst fucking attitude I've ever seen for someone trying to be one of the greatest, and you have the worst type of habits that, you know, to make it in to become one of the greatest. I didn't like any of the preparation or mindset he brought into it, and then he's like, this is my fucking part. Oh, I didn't realize you were running the show. Okay, tell me more. Sorry, I'd been like, you're gone. I'm done.
I completely disagree with that.
Well,
all of that.
What I'm saying,
outside
though,
of the alarm thing, I'll give you that. The alarm thing.
I'm
telling
just
his
saying
instructor it's your part.
But yeah,
tell him to fuck off.
That's the
essentially.
part that's like it makes no sense.
Okay, but again, he's showing fucking passion because Fletcher's pushed him to this point. He literally got a flat tire, hauled ass to his rental car, got the shit, drove there. Again, like he's drumming till his hands are fucking bleeding. He's dipping his shit in fucking pitchers of ice.
And that's another thing. Why not just throw on some gloves?
He left. Well, I agree with that too. I had that too. Anyway, he gets into a car accident and still goes to the show and wants to play. This kid is fucking dedicated. I don't see how you guys don't think that. That's insane to me.
The dedication and going all that. To me, I was just mainly going off of like the couple things of like set an alarm, try and get there earlier, keep track of the folder.
The alarm thing I'll give you, but granted, it didn't even end up mattering because they're 3 hours fucking early anyway.
Hold on. This is the idea. Do you think Kobe's one of the best in the NBA? Would you agree? Hold on, just real quick. Let me set this up.
Of course you know.
Do you think Kobe shows up 30 minutes before curtain time?
You think Kobe never missed an alarm or had a flat tire?
I don't think so. Honestly,
I think you're full of shit. Come on, man. Shit happens.
No.
They never had a
Kobe at 19 was already in the NBA,
just had
and he was training
one day
harder.
Where some shit just fucking happened, and
it's not one day. This was a
pattern
of behaviors.
What? It was two things.
Pattern.
You're a fucking idiot. Get the fuck out of here.
Okay, moving on.
Right.
Spinoffs or that?
Yeah, go ahead.
I would like to see Fletcher's earlier years. Like, how did he rise to this level?
Okay.
Like this, like. He's like very pretentious type of guy, like he has like the hat and the look of like, oh, I wear all black and fucking like that. It's kind of like where you getting that from?
Where you getting that?
Because that doesn't seem like a kid who's like 19 is like, I'm just gonna wear this top hat and a black shirt. It's like you clearly got
clearly he's accomplished. Yeah, I'm curious to what though.
Yeah. What do you got, Dave?
I kind of want to see what happens to Andrew like after this movie. If we're going like the Charlie Parker route. I'm guessing he's probably a druggie probably failing at life.
That'd be cool.
That's interesting.
That's what I think.
All
and
right.
like kind of what you said, I want to see what happened before Fletcher became a teacher. Like how did he get to this point? Like
I mean, he had to be a professional of some level.
Absolutely.
Playing like giant concert halls or something like that.
Bobby?
If you don't
have it, it's okay. Yeah.
Pass, yeah.
All right. I just think it'd be funny if the character of Fletcher really existed and we gave him like a reality show where he's teaching kids drums and just like I could see like kind of like a Gordon Ramsay type of thing, but he's like a drum techer instead of a chef.
Can we do a crossover though?
We're getting next.
Okay.
Next
That's the one I actually do have something.
We're got it next. Bobby, why don't you start us off?
I think that it would be kind of interesting, and this is kind of around the same time frame where maybe Fletcher or possibly not so much Miles, but maybe someone within there, almost famous. I'm sure there's a lot of band members that, you obviously she's just cruising around with one band, but maybe at that time I think Fletcher would have been younger. So Fletcher might have been able to fill in at maybe some of these big bands.
You want a young Fletcher,
almost famous.
All right, I like it. How are you, Dave? Do you have anything for this?
I do not have anything for this.
Okay, I'm going to ask a question because
it's a new category, so feel free.
I like it. I like the idea of it, though.
It's a work in progress.
Bobby, for this movie, and then the other one, he was talking about the
Texas Chainsaw Man. Yeah.
Right. I took the Switcheroo, as I renamed it in my notes. Switcheroo.
Gotcha. I like it.
I took it as like another actor's role. Like, obviously, you have two completely different plots, but like just the way in which he acted in that role, I put that other guy into this movie.
Just I don't know. Explain. Just what did you have?
So I put Gary Oldman in either his villain roles of like the Hitman's Bodyguard, Air Force One, like where he's like a European guy that's like very like
Yes.
However to explain it, he's like very like kind of like strict and like.
So you're saying Gary Oldman, let's say his villain from Air Force One is the teaching the kids drumming.
Yeah, so like the
That works,
teacher
yeah,
is
that's
like
fine.
European
Painting
guy
it like a
who's
picture in a different way. Yeah.
but like berating the shit out of the kids.
Yeah, that works fine.
In Russia, this is how we fucking make
that's
professionals.
fine. That's totally cool.
In Russia.
I had a few written down that could be interesting.
Right.
I thought it'd be funny if we had either J.K. Simmons' his character in That Thing You Do or shades from That Thing You Do in this movie, and he's like teaching him, he's like, take those fucking sunglasses. Who the fuck do you think you are? What are you doing? Take care of some shit like that.
Okay, so you kind of did a
you could go either way.
Okay.
I have and then I have I think it'd be funny if instead of J.K. Simmons teaching the class kind of the same where you had if Ari Gold taught the drumming class.
Oh, that would be funny.
Kinda
That'd
similar.
be a comedy. There's no way they
Yeah.
could twist that into nothing but.
And
Couldn't be a drama.
Lastly, I had for the scene when Neiman rents the car, if it was Danny McBride from Due Date, he's renting the car from. I don't know if you've seen that
Oh
movie.
yeah.
Call my boys to Chili's. Got reservations at 8. Sorry, can't give you that car.
No, but it wasn't Danny McBride the cash one. It was the Western Union.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like,
Okay, I
instead,
get
he
you,
plays
yeah.
the clerk at the rental car.
That
instead.
okay, I get that. That's
So
cool.
that's kind of where I'm going with this category.
like it. I like
you bring
it.
in other characters from other
You kind of
movies.
just tie him in
And
somehow.
you can either put them in this or these characters in that. You know.
Okay.
That's Switcheroo's great. That's
Open to interpret. I always thought of the Switcheroo for two.
that works too. I had crossover, Switcheroo, and we can name it either one.
All right, I like that. I like that
Yeah.
one though. That's a fun
So-
one.
New segment.
Let's get to what Bobby's been champing at the bit for.
Oh my
Picky
god,
Nits.
all day.
Picking Nits. So Bobby, I'm
Start it
gonna
off.
wind you up and let you go.
All right, like I said earlier, I think that this is a bad play of Good Will Hunting with a different type of scene. I think that the forced love perspective in this was unwanted, unnecessary. I think that J.K. Simmons, his overuse of insult, it didn't, like, granted, he's a great actor. I love him and I like Miles. I like them as both their actors in other bits. This was just a miss because I was like, I know you're a hard-nosed son of a bitch, but some of the words that come out of your mouth, it didn't line with me, and it just threw me off completely. And the ending, him being a total cunt and giving him the wrong rap or like sheet music, like that kind of plays to his character, obviously, in this. But I'm going to come back out there, and the only thing that came into my head was that drum bit at the end of Step Brothers. Like that is all that went through my head. I'm like, dude, I was done. I checked out way early in this movie.
Yeah, we also failed to
Way
mention
early.
that Andrew at one point tackles J.K. Simmons.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
fuck you, Fletcher.
I agree.
Fuck
I agree,
you.
dude. I'm saying Fletcher would have bullet holes if I was in that conservatory.
Let me
You throw
just let me
something
just
at my head, you're not waking up
go
tomorrow.
against though, Bobby, as you said the love interest. I think this is a perfect example, honestly, of where a love interest doesn't take away from the movie. Like, you have to populate other scenes in the movie to show, like, oh, he's not just drumming all the time. But I think this is a perfect example of, like, they kind of met, they dated for like 2 scenes, and then she was gone, and that was it.
I had on the same, well, I don't know if the same vein, on the same subject. They should have, if they were going to have the relationship thing in there, build it up more. Didn't really have enough. Or it was like maybe you add a scene or
something,
two
for God's
to make the breakup when it happens mean more and be it more of a thing for him that he's giving up. Because to me, it seems like they went on like 2 dates, like you said, and it's like, I think you should break it off, or even like a boyfriend girlfriend at this point.
Right, but
like,
I think that also just is playing into the plot, though, where to me it works within this movie of just like, hey, this is my life. Like, and everything he says to her in the cafe or diner is like absolutely true. Like, you're gonna then resent me for not spending time with.
I
you.
love the logical ploy, though.
I'm just
That
saying,
makes
it's like,
sense.
to me that fits in well with this movie, and this is one example of like. A lot of times I will say in like a movie that's like a drama or an action or even a comedy, and they put in a love interest just because it's Hollywood, I go, you missed the mark. You took away from the thing. This is a perfect example of, I think, the other thing of it going, hey, this was here, but you're focusing here still.
I think it would have been better and stronger if we had at least maybe one more scene of them like in this. It seems like they didn't have much of a relationship, so like he's not breaking off much of anything. Like, why did she even get so upset. You went on like 2-3 dates.
Not gonna lie, she got broken up with. It's not-
Well, I
That
know,
sucks.
but it was like, okay, cool. If I was with a girl I just started talking to a month ago, and she's like, I don't want to see you, and if it wasn't that serious, which it didn't seem like
you would have been like
to her, to him it was.
Right, because the timeline of this movie was what, all of like 6 months or something
I'm
like
not
that?
sure exactly.
I think it was under a year.
Over a semester at
under
least or
under
something.
a year over
Plus
a
the
semester.
summer.
So-
So call it like 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, something like that.
All right.
I maybe would have like one more scene of them on another date, or maybe like you show them after they had sex in bed or something, and they're talking like just it's like, oh, they're really serious. Like now it makes this breakup mean more when he does it, and makes it the reason why she's so hurt make more sense to me. I guess that's why.
You gotta get your thoughts on.
Yeah,
Kind
what
of
you gonna do?
like I
Hug
mean,
that mark, man.
with the violence, like sure berating was one thing, but like even in 2014, if you hit somebody like as a teacher, you can't do that. That's
let
a
me-
problem.
Sorry, before I just want to interrupt real quick. I also had though in the prequels, sequels, whatever. I forgot to mention. I think that this movie would work much better in like the 70s, 60s,
I could see
70s,
that,
something
yeah.
like
Then you
that.
could believe the physical abuse more and shit.
Well, just the berating in general, because I agree with Bobby that when he's going at them so hard every single time, I go, that's not. I don't believe that all the
yeah,
time. That
and
you're
it-
so much of a prick that
it's-
literally everything. Hey, get your head out of your fucking this guy's ass. Stop sucking that dick. It's like whoa,
Like, dude, no, you way too over the top.
Yeah.
I think what would be more, more for me would be, I'm sorry, you need to leave. I think something that's quiet and you don't have
More
what it takes.
believable.
You need to leave, please. Exit.
All right,
I
Dave,
just would
what
say
else
for the
do?
record, he did.
That's
win
the only thing that
Best
kind
Supporting
of
Actor.
nitpicked me. Like,
For what?
Yeah, you can't do that. 2014,
What award?
2024. Like even if Matt Eberflus, like from a
Oscar?
football,
Talking to Mike.
from a Matt Eberflus perspective, like if he hits like somebody like one of his own players, you don't think that's going to be an issue?
Love the.
I definitely
Lord.
agree with you. I also think in that situation, Matt Eberflus would not have a head anymore unless he
Well,
went after
yeah.
a kicker.
Yeah.
Even then, I bet you a kicker could fucking take Eberflus.
Yeah.
Cairo's a
Uh,
beast. I could see that.
He mentioned this that
Oh, just like just for the record, J.K. Simmons did win Best Supporting Actor for this role. By the way, so I'm just saying, over the top or not, people liked it. You know,
No, it was
I'm saying,
awesome.
Like, yeah, like
I think
Awesome.
the movie in general is great. I just my picking nit was again kind of a amalgamation
Yeah.
of both of them. Like the physical violence, the constantly berating. You take that down a touch. I would be like, wow, this is even better of a film. But I agree with you. You won supporting.
I
role.
had two picking nits that I think are fairly
relevant.
relevant or whatever. I don't know. Is Neiman old enough to rent a car? He's only 19. Don't you be like 21 or 25?
25.
to rent a car?
25.
So
Yeah,
he
that
can't
was a
rent a
big
car.
miss.
I had
Yeah.
that. And then also, there is zero chance he makes it to the car place and back to the concert in time to be on stage at 5:30, especially after
He's
being
getting
in a car
arrested.
accident.
Oh,
He's
stage
getting-
wasn't at 5:30.
He said, my band is on the stage at
It
5:30.
was 5:30. Yeah.
They're starting to walk to
Warm
get
up.
there.
warm up.
Well,
and
he
rehearsal.
said, you better be on the stage at 5. That was
Oh,
like his,
okay, sorry. I
Right.
didn't.
My band is whoever's my band is on that stage at 5:30. And when he said that, it was like 5:18 or 19 or 20.
Yeah, he was
And
in
he had
the,
to run, like,
he was in
8
the car
minutes
at
one
like
way.
5:30.
If you recall, the GPS, it said 11 minutes from the car place
I
to
didn't
the
catch that.
rental hall to the whatever the concert hall.
Yeah.
There was like 7 minutes or 9 minutes. Like he's not making it. There's no
Thank
way.
you. That was another good point. Good point.
Those are my two. that I
Okay,
had.
I just got a couple more here. Do you guys kind of? This is just maybe more of an open-ended question. Like, do you believe that J.K. So Fletcher is looking at Andrew, the beginning of the movie, and goes like, "Oh, this guy's doing this. Now I need to take him under the wing make him my prodigy or whatever."
I thought about this.
It's very odd to me that he's like, I see you right here. Now, granted, they could have said, oh, yeah, I've seen you a bunch of other times. I've talked with your professors or, other conductors. And they're like, yeah, you're the guy. But to me, it looks like here. And then he just fucking goes straight psycho of like.
I think part of him sees something in Neiman. I also think part of him likes fucking with people.
Okay.
He likes fucking with Tanner, the guy who's already on the varsity drumming team, for lack of a better term. He's like, so I'm going to bring this guy in and shake shit up. And then he did the same thing with Conley when Neiman was starting to think he was it. Oh, I'm bringing this redhead kid in here.
I could see. I could see a benefit of doing something like that, but like everything he did was fucking conniving. So
I'm not saying it was good. I'm just saying this is like that's what he does.
no,
like,
I know that's.
yeah.
I guess a good leader wouldn't be conniving. Sorry,
Yeah.
that's not a quality of someone that'll win.
Sure.
shit.
Yeah, I definitely am curious of how military style, like in the top level. Like this is supposed to be the best of the entire country.
Wouldn't like the Philharmonic be the best?
Yeah, something along those lines. But I'm just saying, I think that there would be definitely a serious level on the fine tuning things. But I feel like overall, a conductor would probably want to be like, hey, we're friends, but you need to be perfect. Like kind of more of that attitude. I'm just saying in real life.
The technical skills were there. I'll give him that. In terms of like, I actually Googled some of these things. It seems like he was doing things correctly from a technical aspect, and Woj might be able to speak to that. I know we're running low on time, but
we're on the last thing anyway. We're going to do the grade anyway. Let's just go.
Hold on.
Oh,
I got
sorry.
a last couple.
My bad.
So he, at the very end, J.K. Simmons tells Miles Teller, like, hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm putting this together. It's like 3 weeks or whatever. Did the group not practice as an ensemble before the show? Like 3 weeks out, and he goes, hey, just relearn all these. He's been out of school for months. It's kind of like...
So you're saying that, like Neiman never practiced with the band before the show.
And the band obviously would have played the song that they played on the stage.
I guess maybe he was like... Yeah, I never thought about that. That's a good point.
It's just like assuming, like, hey, you're going to know all these songs... Not like, hey, why don't you come back in so I know that you're not shit.
I guess I would say maybe that Neiman already knows these songs. He doesn't really need it. All he knows his part. He's done this before. I get with a band, you probably want to practice with each other.
That, and also it's never going to be like, yo, we're going to have the exact same songs from 6 months ago, especially in a top fucking thing you saw it the couple times they were like, hey, we're doing this song next week. Sight read, it's on the way out.
If you recall, that was the whole thing at the bar. He said, we're doing the classics, we're doing Class, we're doing Caravan, we're doing Whiplash. You know these. I need a guy who knows these. You're my guy.
Why would the dad support the kid? Like, why wouldn't he just be like, yo, let's get the fuck out of here?
Like at the concert at the end?
Yeah, and then he's like, turns, and he's like, Andrew, let's go, man. This guy. And also on top of it, he testified against the teacher. And but Andrew's also like, hey, come and see the show where the guy who fucked me up. Like,
well, he loves and hates Fletcher. He hates him for who he is, but he respects the shit out of him. He knows he's great.
I'm saying that why is the dad the one to go like, yeah, I'll be there to give you a thumbs up?
I think he loves his son. He doesn't have
trying
a mom.
To be supportive.
He doesn't have a mom. He's the only parent, and he's got no brothers or sisters. So he's trying to support his son.
But then you saw that last scene where they panned him quickly. Like you see the look in his face, and he just realizes his son is gone.
My son is great. And,
he's great, but he's going down this path. There's no going back.
No going back. The other last thing is very real technical. Is like at the end he goes, "I'll cue you to Fletcher," and all he does, he literally at the end he just stops playing, and then
they're like looking at
Fletcher
each other. I guess I know
it's just not really a cue though.
Yeah,
is what I was saying.
That's fair.
That's all I got.
All right, well let's go to our grades. I would love to hear Bobby's first. I know he's gonna skip it. Right?
Yeah, it's a hard skip. And you kind of get a vibe of I was looking up at this right. Michael Douglas was it?
Michael Douglas?
No, the kind of the weird romantic feeling he has for Fletcher is almost like Basic Instinct.
Okay.
Kind of like, dude, everything about this movie swing and a miss. The fact he got an Oscar, I like that in a sense a little bit, but 4.6.
Wow.
I really
out of 10.
Okay. I really thought that this.
You liked it less than Halloween Town?
I think Halloween Town was more rewarding than this film.
Wow. That's insane. Okay, that's cool.
If I could call someone a bunch of homophobic slurs, you could give me an Oscar. I could do that all day.
Yeah, but dude, you have to also
you don't
just
think I can be intense?
No, dude.
It's
not that, dude.
That's all he did.
No,
homophobic slurs, intense, all day. Check
Bobby,
check.
the movie
Give
in
me an
general is a great movie. That's why he won the Oscar. Is because the movie and the plot and that type of shit goes towards an Oscar. You are vehemently incorrect.
I hope I make it.
If you say the movie overall is bad, you're just
I think
you're
the movie
incorrect.
Overall is bad.
You're just incorrect about how
hate
movies.
You hate the characters. You hate the movie.
I hate the structure. I hate everything about this movie. I think that nothing about this movie has a redeeming quality.
You don't
outside of the technical
You don't think
aspects,
it was shot well and made well?
Outside of the technical aspects that I think he's like, all right, we're going to pick up on bar. So I think a lot of the technical about the whole thing is on par. Everything else, right in the trash can.
Dave.
Well, since me and Ryan came up with this together.
Sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you.
Yeah, I would rent this movie at least. See if you like it. I own this movie. I don't really get DVDs much, but that's one of the movies I own. It's just intense, from start to finish. Obviously, it's a little over dramatic, but I love it. J.K. Simmons is awesome in this movie.
So what's your grade, Dave? What's your
What
letter?
rating?
Your number?
9.5 out of 10.
Oh, wow. All right.
Definitely up there. Yeah, I think this movie is definitely at least a stream. I think it's definitely worth that.
Which is on Netflix right now. By the way,
You have to get an upgraded version though. It's not like standard Netflix.
Really?
No, mine was.
Like for mine, they said, "Oh, change your plan." Like we have Netflix, but all right.
Mine
But
was just on the OG.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
maybe I'm on the poor version. I don't know.
No, I would also just say the you need to also like movies that are. It's a very specific. It's jazz music. So if you don't love jazz, you're not going to like this movie, even as good of a movie as it is.
Yeah.
So that's a big kind of disclaimer there. Is don't go in thinking oh yeah, I like some stuff, and then you're gonna be like.
I think like you said, if you don't like jazz, and especially like in Bowie's case or anybody else's case, if you don't like the J.K. Simmons character to the point where he rubs you so wrong, you just can't watch the movie, then you can't watch the movie because he's the bulk.
And maybe that's to his credit. And you know what? Maybe that's to his credit.
I think yeah.
I'll just go. My rating was an 8.3. I thought it was
Okay.
pretty good.
Okay, above average.
Again, as a movie, I think it knocks it out of the park. There's just a couple.
Yeah. And I just want to say, even though I don't agree with Bobby, I love sparring with him.
I love it too.
He's my guy. It makes for fun recording. Despite if I get angry on the at moments, it's good
though.
It's all
It's
love.
good.
Yeah,
It's
all
love,
love. So I own it. Like I said, obviously
I love that. I think
Steelbook.
that looks cool. Really enjoy a lot of aspects about the movie. Just
I think
not the movie.
Yeah, I think you should at least, like Dave said, stream it if you like intense movies, movies about music, about jazz especially, and if you like drums. And I gave it a 8.7. I think that's pretty good. I like it a lot.
Okay.
So now I believe
That was Whiplash.
It's Bobby's
It's
choice.
me, and I actually was talking to Woj about this. This is not my pick, but it was kind of tossed around an idea. 3,000 Miles to Graceland was my initial.
I've never seen that.
Was my
Great.
initial
Good movie.
drop. It's a good movie. It has Kevin Costner and
And Kurt Douglas. Not Kurt Douglas.
Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell. There you
Jesus
go.
Christ.
But
Russell.
no,
Kurt Douglas.
I'm going to go with Kurt Douglas.
Like 98.
Let's go.
I'm going with Gladiator.
Okay.
Ooh.
And the second one's coming out in like a week
Yeah,
or
so
two.
it kind of prompted me, but yeah, I'm going with Gladiator.
All right.
Okay.
Ridley
Gladiator's
Scott.
Pretty
I'm
good.
on the Ridley Scott train.
Yeah.
Shit, dude, I've picked like 3 or 4 of his already.
Nothing wrong with that.
He's a fantastic director.
Yeah, I know.
All right. So again, we want to thank Dave for gracing our
Busting
presence
your
here.
balls. I'm sorry, bro.
Dude, hey man.
Thanks
Fucking
for having
fit
me
in
on,
there.
guys.
man.
I
Give
really
some love.
appreciate it.
Dude,
There
Hope
it
to be
is.
back again at some
you're
point.
always welcome back. Dude, love chopping it up with you. For the Journeymen Lounge Pod, I'm Woj,
Say
Dave.
your name.
Dave,
Uh,
Bobby.
And I'm Ryan.
and we will talk to y'all next week. Peace.
Peace. Take care.
Adios.